Youth Matchday on BBC Radio Suffolk. Ipswich Town are back at home ahead of kick-off against Southampton. Let's join our commentary team. Former Blues captain Mick Mills is alongside Brenna Woolley.
Yeah, another season dawns at Portman Road, and an interesting game this, one which could redefine Town's start. Win it and the general vibe will be 4 points from 2 tough fixtures is a good return. Who cares about Bromley? But if they fail to win, a fair few will be thinking we were really poor at Birmingham. Bromley was yet another cup embarrassment, and when on earth are we going to win at Portman Road again? Then of course you've got the recent off-field shenanigans as well. It's kind of on an edge really. Southampton, the only side to finish below the Blues in the Premier League last season, come here having won their opening day fixture, and then they progressed in the cup in midweek. Under new manager Will Still, they're one of the favourites, like Kieran McKenna's Ipswich, to secure their second promotion to the Premier League in 3 seasons. Mick, I think we're expecting a better game of football than the one we saw at St Andrews, aren't we?
Well, certainly better as far as Ipswich Town are concerned, because I thought that Birmingham played very well. I do see Birmingham as possibly being very comfortable in the Championship. I don't think they're quite up to being into the top 6, but they played well. Town didn't get off the marks at all. They were very bitty. They weren't together. Individually, they weren't good enough. So, as far as Town are concerned, there's got to be a major uplift in performance today, because I do feel that although Southampton had a difficult season last year, I thought that when they got up with Town, and in the 2 games against Ipswich in the Premier League, I thought they were very, very useful. And they've retained a fair amount of their team from last year. So I do feel that Southampton's performance, their performance level will be okay. So Town have got to really step up to give them a game. But I do feel that these 2 teams in the last couple of years have been very, very evenly matched. So it's going to be a tight contest today. When I look at the midfields, I think that Southampton have got the edge. So again, we've got to be very good in that department as well.
2 teams out in front of us. First, of course, of 23 league games on this wonderful pitch here at Portman Road. Of course, there's been a fair bit of work done on it since Fabio Wardley's victory, and of course then the 3 nights of Ed Sheeran. The 2 sets of players just patting palms on the halfway line down below us. Southampton in their red and white striped shirts with the black shorts and white socks. Town, when they take their tracksuit tops off for the first time this season, will be sporting blue, white, blue. One change to the Ipswich Town team that drew at St Andrews 9 days ago. Chio Ogbeni drops to the bench. In comes Jaden Philogene for his first appearance of the season. So Palmer is in goal. He's immediately springing up in the air off to our left towards the north stand end. There's a long banner right across it, side by side, a sea of blue and white. Lots of flags as well, particularly in the lower tier of the Sir Bobby Robson stand. Town's back 4 unchanged. Johnson, O'Shea the captain, Greaves, who we just heard from on match day, and Davis. Then you got Matusiwa on his home debut alongside Taylor. A few of the players have actually carried out their kids as mascots ahead of this game, and Taylor Jr. was having an awful day, bless him. He burst into tears, so Jax had to be on daddy duties, just trying to pacify him in the last few minutes. The 3 in front of them. Clark will play down the right as he has pre-season. Smodick's in the middle and Philogene down the left. George Hurst, who got Town's late equaliser at St Andrews, leads the line again. On the bench, Walton, Wolfenden, Kipre hoping to make his league and home debut. Humphreys, Kayuste, first time he's featured since he returned on loan from Napoli. Young, Chaplin, Ogbeni, and the young Irish midfielder or winger Leon Ayindi, a 20-year-old who arrived at Ipswich Town from Cork City a couple of years ago. Did well for Rochdale on loan last season. Southampton make a couple of changes from the comeback victory over Wrexham. All 3 relegated sides went behind last weekend, but sadly Ipswich Town were the only ones not to come back and win. Edwards and Sugawara dropped to the bench. In come Harwood Bellis and Matthias Fernandez. And I just get the impression that Southampton might be matching Ipswich Town up. We thought earlier on they were going to play a back 3, but looking at the warm-ups, I think they're going to go with a back 4 of Harwood Bellis, who's normally a centre-half, Stevens the captain, Kwasi and Wellington. The 2 in midfield will be Downs and Charles. Fraser to the right of the attack, Robinson to the left, and then Fernandez in the middle, in behind Armstrong. Like Mick was saying, I've got a major concern over Downs, Charles and Fernandez ruling the roost in the centre of the park, but we shall see. But big test for Matthew Seaward, Taylor and to an extent Schmoddix. On the bench, McCarthy, a third former Ipswich player in the Saints squad. Wood, Edwards, Manning, Sugawara, Matsuki, Dibbling, Brereton Diaz, Archer. No Ross Stewart or Damien Downs. The TV cameras currently zooming in on the two managers, Kieran McKenna and Will Still. Will Still, just 32 years of age, has sort of done his growing up, his education in football sense in Belgium and France in recent seasons. Big opportunity for him at a big club where the ambition quite clearly is, like it is here in Suffolk, to get back to the Premier League at the first time of asking. The referee very experienced this afternoon, Robert Madley, did Leeds' 4-3 win here a couple of years ago when Town incidentally started that season with 3 successive victories. They actually won 7 out of their first 8, Ipswich, when they went up the last time. Let's see if they can take 4 points from their first 2 games this time around, as judging by the silence of the crowd you heard there. Play is underway. Philogene with his orange boots on, far side. He is occupying that left wing role for Ipswich as Greaves can't keep the ball in at left back. It's an early attacking throw-in for Southampton, and the replacement ball's being called for. Fraser is going to be taking it, getting a second chance really under Will Still after falling out of favour a little bit last season. The Scotsman, who had a loan spell here from Bournemouth very early on in his career, been at Newcastle since then. Here is the highly regarded Fernandez. His crossfield ball's headed away by Clark, not bound by the big German Quasi. Clark, first time ball on. Schmoddix is going after it. Quasi sees it out for a throw to Southampton at left back now.
Well, massive reaction from the Town supporters with just one forward ball that put Town on the attack. The atmosphere here is absolutely brilliant. It's almost as if the fans are trying to sort of, make their presence felt, sending a message to the players that they don't care that we've been relegated, we're still with you.
He's going to need the fans to play that role, something Kieran McKenna talked about in his pre-match press conference on Friday. They've been terrific for Ipswich Town in recent seasons. These supporters really have enjoyed themselves with those back-to-back promotions. Obviously it's been tougher this calendar year so far, and they deserve a home victory sooner rather than later. A Town with 9 successive defeats on this pitch since the win over Chelsea at Christmas. Here's the new captain, Dara O'Shea. Early ball out to the left-hand side for Philogene. It's inch perfect. Lovely ball from O'Shea, well taken by Philogene, trying to get the better of his man Fraser. Philogene crosses into the Southampton area. Good ball, stooping to head it away is the big German Quasi. Davis fells Fraser. Play on, says the referee, Mr. Madley. Philogene has the ball again in front of the Southampton fans. It was a good ball in from him a minute ago. Davis crossed into the Southampton area. Good stuff from Town. Headed by Clark. Missed by the defender initially. Out as far as Johnson, a goal scorer in the Cup in midweek. Taylor, good pressure this from Ipswich Town early on. The crowd are behind them. Clark crosses towards the far stick. Sadly, there's no one there. Bar Leif Davis, who despite his best efforts can't do anything with it. Goal kick.
Well, one fantastic pass from Dara O'Shea started the whole thing off. Absolutely beautiful crossfield ball, taken down by Philogene. His cross was a good one, and then we had another attack with another good cross coming in from the right-hand side. That's a good start.
Yeah, Town have done well. 3 minutes on the clock. Referee slipped on the halfway line. Up on his feet quickly. Southampton win the ball. Lovely play from Fernandez. Can't squeeze it through to Charles, the Northern Irish midfielder. Downs, first touch goes back to Bazunu. Very heavily linked to Ipswich Town in the January transfer window, Flynn Downs, but there's been no talk of him returning so far this time around. Just second year of a 5-year contract. Quasi's taking a risk. Hurst got the better of him. Hurst inside the area, pulls it back. Clark deflected it in. It's an own goal. The players in blue got to celebrate with Jack Clark. He got the final touch from an Ipswich Town man perspective, but it's come off a Southampton player. It beat Bazunu. Town had started this game well. It exerted all sorts of pressure on that goal off to our right-hand side. The Southampton have cracked. Town lead 1-0 inside 4 minutes.
Well, absolutely awful mistake by Wellington, I think it was, on the left-hand side for Southampton. It gave George Hurst the opportunity to get in the box. He decided to pull the ball back. and I think there must have been almost a triple reaction there. You know, it just bounced off of a number of players, ends up going in the goal, but it's just a horrendous mistake down Southampton's left-hand side. But 1-0 to Town.
Taylor Harwood-Bellis, for me, should be credited with the own goal. Oh, absolutely. The PA system inside Portman Road obviously gave it the big one for Jack Clark, but it's an own goal scored by Harwood-Bellis. His first 4 minutes of the league season, didn't feature last week, just come back from injury, but Town had started this game well. We're used to goals at the end of matches when these two meet. Of course, we had the Sarmiento moment, then we had the Morsey equaliser at St Mary's, and then Paul Anuachu got the winner here for Southampton late on. Ipswich on the right-hand side with Johnson. Johnson crosses, he drives it across the face of goal. Philogene couldn't get on it, so thrown to Southampton at right back. Good atmosphere at Portman Road.
Well, Southampton tried to play their calm passing game, and it lasted for about 60 seconds. And then it was just literally one sort of hopeful ball down the right-hand side that got the crowd going. And then it was Dara O'Shea's fabulous crossfield ball that actually got the team going. And they've now started really well. They're 1-0 in front, and they're really buzzing.
Here at Ipswich Town, Smollicks's layoff doesn't reach a blue shirt. Charles turns, gets away from Smollicks, runs into Matusiwa, who takes him out. It's a free kick to Southampton, yet to have anything of the ball inside the half off to our left, being defended by Ipswich in the 6th minute, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Yesterday, wins at this level for Coventry, Norwich, West Brom, Birmingham, Middlesbrough, Preston, Stoke, Swansea and Watford. A fair number of away victories. Actually, I think in fact all 3 of the lunchtime games went the way of the sides that had travelled, including Norwich. They're up and running. Harwood-Bellis, crossfield ball to Wellington, the Brazilian, heads it up to Armstrong. Armstrong touches it down to the teenager Robinson, wide left outside the Ipswich area. Wants to take on Johnson. Johnson blocks off the run. Corner kick to Southampton.
Well, that's another good sort of ball up to the front players, to the wide touchline player rather, and his header was an excellent one. He ignored the nearest man, headed the ball to the second man, and they looked dangerous.
Even though it wasn't his goal, that'll be good for the confidence of Jack Clark. Just that involvement in that area was an important touch. He got on the ball that led to the opener. Southampton trying to hit back, having gone a goal behind. Fernandez, in comes his corner kick, headed out as far as Wellington, who has a go. Brought down by Armstrong inside the area. Come off an Ipswich Town player. Yes, it has. Yeah. I thought it took a flick. It is a corner kick. Well spotted, Mr. Madley.
Yeah, they never really got into a position to strike the ball cleanly from the edge of the box, but they'd be quite happy to have won a second corner from, you know, a little bit of a toe poke.
First time in 9 games that Ipswich Town have taken the lead since Encisa scored at Stamford Bridge last season. They've always had to come from behind in recent times in League and of course Cup the other night, before eventually losing on penalties to Bromley. The referee just having a word with Philogene and Charles. Corner kick to Southampton, 3.5 minutes after they went behind in this championship match, this midday fixture on BBC Radio Suffolk. Fernandez again on this corner kick, and away swinger. The flick on header from Armstrong's a good one, punched away by Palmer to the edge of the box, slipped in towards the far stick by the number 46 Robinson. Well caught by Palmer. That's good news for him inside 8 minutes.
Well, Southampton lined up with actually 5 on the back post, 1 on the goalkeeper, and it was the one on the goalkeeper that made a move to the near post where the ball was aimed at, and it was a good flick on.
They're not the tallest of sides, obviously, apart from 3 lads at the back, Southampton. They've got some technically very good players. And here is Jacob Greaves. Nice to hear from him earlier on match day. 8 gone, Town lead 1-0, an own goal inside 4 minutes after a mistake at the back by Southampton. Came off Harwood-Bellis last. Here is Taylor. He goes back towards Palmer, positioned just outside the penalty box. Palmer gives it out to the far side, and Davis left-footed, puts it up towards Hurst. Hurst, nice first touch, brought it down well. Got a couple of Southampton players for company. Hurst touches it on, comes off the corner flag. It's Ipswich Town ball, probably for the foul on Hurst by the looks of things. Mr. Madley wants a word with Harwood-Bellis, who's possibly rattled by giving away that goal.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether that was a foul. I thought, to me, it looked just like a Southampton throw-in, but the referee's been very kind to Town here. It's actually in a good position. It's about 6 yards away from the corner flag, so, you know, every chance to sort of, well, basically line up as a corner kick.
Must remember that Southampton went behind a week ago against Wrexham. It was actually a very, very good first half from Phil Parkinson's side. It was 2 late goals that they scored, the 90th and the 96th minute, to turn that one around. Southampton, they're behind already in this one. 9.5 minutes played this Sunday lunchtime. Philogene has this free kick just underneath the Southampton fans over in the far right corner of Portman Road. Town attacking the goal off to the right. What can the former Villa player do? And it comes good cross from him, glancing header from Hurst, and he probably should have done better.
Yes, he should. You know, the ball is a good ball because it's gone right into the danger zone, and it's poor marking by Southampton. They've got 2 guys there, but one is 1.5 yards in front of Hurst, and the other one is 1 yard behind him. So the ball came down.
Given away by Southampton. Taylor to Clark. There's too much on that ball from Taylor for Smodics. Clark had to intervene. It would have gone out of play. Blocked off by Philogene. Well done by Smodics. Robs Quasi of the ball. The referee's blown up. It's a Southampton free kick. Hurst taking a shove from Stevens. Town on top in this game.
Yeah, they are, and that was a real good opportunity. Clear header, clear chance. Should have gone 2-0 in front. Southampton, when they get the ball at the back, for me, they're indecisive and very untidy.
Harwood Bellis out to the far side. Fernandez up against Philogene. Philogene's done some good stuff so far in this game. Fernandez been forced back to his goalkeeper Bazunu in all orange, the Republic of Ireland international. Here is Wellington. Infield, made his debut against Ipswich Town last season. Here Wellington, crossfield pass, looks towards Fraser. Fraser keeps it in. Southampton just can't get the ball, well, very rarely, out of their half of the field. They'll do it now though. Here is Fernandez, just shy of the halfway line, back to Downs. Downs to the centre spot. Charles, potential in this move for Southampton. It's been slick so far. Out to the left hand side, Wellington, the number 34, gives it to Robinson. Robinson takes Johnson to the cleaners inside the area. Still Johnson. Robinson with a terrific run. Eventually Johnson gets back and gets himself in the way, crawling along the ground, and sees it out behind.
Well, that's a glimmer of what we'll probably see later on from the Southampton midfield. When they received the ball in the back line up there, I felt Flynn Downs' position he took up was excellent. He could have had it, but then Fernandez made a lovely little run into a bit of space that was about 15 yards further up the pitch than Flynn Downs, and they found him beautifully.
Town lead 1-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport, an early own goal. Scored by the man in possession, Harwood Bellis, inside the penalty area off to our right. The number 6 gives it to Ryan Fraser, infield to Downs. Downs first time ball up. Armstrong's going to go after it, tries to get there ahead of O'Shea. O'Shea had the situation under control and now just pushes it back to Palmer. Palmer between the penalty spot and the edge of the 6-yard area off to our left as O'Shea and Armstrong off the ball run into each other. Play continues with Greaves getting the ball up to Hurst. It's a good ball from a former Hull player. Hurst holds it up and then it's thrown to the ground by Stevens. Ipswich Town balls is once again a well-positioned referee Madley.
I think Dara O'Shea deliberately ran into Armstrong there. They're just having a little chat about it, and I think Armstrong wanted to go and close Jacob Greaves down quickly. Dara O'Shea deliberately stepped into his line of attack, so a little bit naughty from our centre-half.
Jacob Greaves is on this free kick far side in front of the Cobbold stand. Town in blue, white, blue, playing from left to right. Yet to get Azor Matasiwa involved in this game. Such a tough match for the Dutchman to come into it. Birmingham first time out. Here is Taylor, lays the ball off to O'Shea. Now Johnson on this near side. Down the line to Clark, came on at left back. To great effect on Tuesday night. Ben Johnson scored one, could have had another. A couple of great strikes from the former West Ham player.
Well, these two boys down the left-hand side for Southampton are having a difficult match, really, Wellington and Robinson.
Downs read that well and took it away from the Ipswich midfield when Johnson was trying to find a teammate in there. Here is Flynn Downs again, gives it to Fernandez. Back the ball goes to Harwood Bellis, former England under-21 international, playing with his white socks pulled up over his knees. Now it's Charles to Fernandez. Fernandez has a couple of players round about him, which is wise from Town's perspective. Matusiwa to Clark, in behind the left back area, into the box, pulls it square towards Smodic, shoots, blocked away by Stevens. Didn't quite get his feet sorted out, Smodic. Cleared up and away by Wellington. O'Shea levered off the ball by Fernandez. Again, the free kick goes Town's way. 14 gone, 1-0 Ipswich.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was a deliberate body check there, and it's given Town a free kick sort of about 12 yards inside Southampton's half. But the centre halves haven't gone up for this, so they're just trying to keep possession of the ball and work a better position.
Free kick, which Dara O'Shea will take for Ipswich Town. He gives it to Johnson underneath us, the Ipswich right, down the line to Clark. Clark first time in field to Smodic. The 1-2 doesn't work out between those two. Smodic's return goes straight out of play. Off to our right, goal kick to Bazunu. 2-1 to Southampton here last season when these two sides met. Many people felt that was the final nail in Ipswich Town's Premier League coffin, that late goal from Paul Onuachu. Earlier in the season it was Sam Morsey's late strike at St Mary's which made it 1-1. Stevens, the match winner a week ago for Southampton, gives the ball to Kwasi, who got caught out for the only goal so far. Ball curls out of play near side for a throw which O'Shea will take. Actually, Azor Matusiwa and also Jens Kiyuste both played under Will Still in French football at Rams a couple of years ago, so he knows about those two Ipswich Town midfielders. Kiyuste incidentally on the bench this afternoon, so it'd be lovely to think he could get some minutes at some stage. Johnson, the right back, goes back to Clark. That's a new combination in competitive football for Town anyway this afternoon. Now Greaves comes out of the defensive third, lays it along the floor to Philogene, who'll hold it up against Harwood Bellis. They've played together in England groups down the years. Taylor up against Adam Armstrong, the number 9. O'Shea can't go forward, he's almost robbed by Armstrong. He pulls at his shirt. O'Shea tangles with Armstrong again, but the ball is back with Palmer. Palmer caught in two minds. Luckily had the emergency route square if needed of Greaves. Philogene's touch around the corner reaches Stevens. Here comes Southampton with Wellington. Wellington in field, nice layoff. Robinson to no one in particular. That was a mistake from him, thankfully. It's through to Palmer and the Ipswich goal.
Yeah, Armstrong was trying to get his own back with a little bit of ankle tapping on Dara O'Shea for the previous body check, and that's going to be a really feisty little one-to-one, Armstrong versus O'Shea. Armstrong, good, lively player. O'Shea, tough defender. But I just feel Southampton are getting their passing going in the midfield a little bit, but we're seeing nothing of the Town centre midfield at the moment.
Flags up for an offside against Ipswich Town. As I said when I read the teams that I was concerned about, Downs, Charles and Fernandez up against the Ipswich Town midfield. There's a couple of Town's young midfielders from the bench go out in the yellow bibs. Cameron Humphreys and Leon Ayindi to join Chio Ogbeni, and doing some stretching and jogging off to our left.
Yeah, as well as Town have played, all their work is really down the sides. They haven't really come through the centre very much.
Fraser down the right for Southampton, infield to Fernandez. Nice turn from the Portuguese to Armstrong. Edge of the area now. Wellington shoots. There's a player of the way, and it was his own player, Robinson, in the end. But Southampton having a little bit more joy in the final third these last few minutes.
That was a good move. It come across the centre of midfield, found its way to the left-hand side, and the two left-hand siders, Wellington and Robinson, engineered a little opportunity, but they got in each other's way when the final shot was going in.
Palmer up to halfway over the top of Hurst and Stevens. There is Harwood Bellis, spins and clears it away from Philogene. One bounce out the far side, throw in to Ipswich Town, who lead this game 1-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk. Free midweek for Ipswich Town on the horizon before Alex Matthews with me at Deepdale. One of yesterday's winners, Preston, the hosts next Saturday. Match on air from 2 till 6. Before that, the Blue Hour tomorrow night between 6 and 7. And the match day preview 6 till 7 on Friday. Talking all things Ipswich Town tomorrow evening. Here is Jack Clark coming in field. Gives it back to Greaves. Greaves down the line to Philogene. Played together a couple of seasons ago in that Hull team under Liam Rossignol. Now Fernandez, open ground to run into. That could be dangerous. In comes his cross by Robinson. Robinson heads it back. Ball keeps reaching Robinson in threatening areas. Thankfully yet to do anything with it. Ball well won by Downs, getting air out of Smodics. Now it's with Harwood-Bellis. Signs that maybe Southampton are hitting their stride. Quasi, very quick defender, Joshua Quasi, who arrived this summer from Hoffenheim. Here he is once more, the number 17, out to the left-hand side. And Wellington, a January signing down on the south coast. Stevens wanted the ball from Quasi, instead he's gone back to Bazunu, now number 1 at Southampton since Aaron Ramsdale joined Newcastle on loan a couple of weeks ago. Harwood-Bellis to the far side, and Fraser. Town forced Southampton all the way back to their goalkeeper, still leading 1-0 thanks to that early own goal. Ipswich Town are. Quasi to Bazunu. Bazunu first time out to Harwood-Bellis. As Ipswich pressed off to our right-hand side. Here is Harwood-Bellis. Gets it back from Fraser now. Blonde-haired Downs. Remember him captaining Ipswich Town at the age of 21. Flynn Downs for the first time, now 26. Cost Southampton £18 million. Then he arrived from West Ham after a loan. Southampton progressing play down the far side with Fernandez. Infield to Downs, who's got himself into an attacking position. He leaves it to Fraser. Fraser, infield to Charles, ball into the box. Pings around in there. Won by Taylor in the end. Down goes Fernandez. Cleared away by Ipswich, but over the top of Hurst. Southampton once again with Quasi trailing 1-0 to this near side. Close to the manager, Will Still. Wellington puts it in behind for Robinson. Got goal side of Johnson. First time ball in. Dealt with O'Shea. Out behind corner to Southampton again.
Yeah, it's a good ball from Wellington, the left back, but Robinson should never have got goal side of Ben Johnson. That was a bit of bad play by Ben Johnson to allow that ball to go by him and for this corner to be won.
It's a third corner kick of the afternoon for the visitors. Southampton trail Ipswich Town 1-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk. Town have got all 10 blue shirts back in the box, off to our left-hand side, in front of the Sir Bobby Robson stand. Wellington plays in this corner kick, headed away by Hurst, out as far as Fernandez. He jabs it to the left, and Fraser down that left touchline is Wellington. Wellington's first time cross cleared away by the left instep of Hurst, out as far as Downs. He lays it off back to Fernandez. Fernandez, the 21-year-old, along the floor to Stevens. Early cross in from him, headed down by O'Shea. Awkward one potentially to deal with. He's done well, the Irishman. Now Greaves takes on Fraser. Still has the ball over in the far left corner. Greaves clears it, but only as far as the forehead of Downs. And then Taylor goes into the back of a Southampton player. Flag goes up. I think it's just for a throw in there to the Saints. Taken quickly by Fraser. Play back underway. Ipswich Town under a little bit of pressure at the moment. Fernandez seeing plenty of the ball. Now it's with Quasi. Out to the left, and Robinson, the latest player to come through their famed academy. Goodness me, that's produced some players the last 20-25 years or so. Southampton with Fernandez, gets the better of Philogene. In goes Davis, out goes the ball. Another Southampton throw inside Ipswich territory.
Yeah, they're starting to dominate possession. This is their game. You know, they need to sort of play short passing game. They need plenty of the ball to be effective, and they are just about starting to do that.
Charles has gone into the back of Matu Siwa. That was needless. He was frustrated with himself for giving the ball away cheaply to Philogene, who'd used it quite well. And then Charles went straight into the back of Matu Siwa. Let's see what the referee's going to do here. Certainly wants a word with Shea Charles. Like a few of these players, Bazunu and Harwood-Bellis also came through at Man City. Had a very good loan at Sheffield Wednesday last season, so he knows all about Championship football. Nothing other than a word or two for him, and thankfully, most importantly, Matu Siwa doesn't look to be overly stricken by it. Getting back up to his feet now. As Town send out Ashley Young and Connor Chaplin. Chuba Akpom is here, incidentally. I saw him walking along to sit in the back of the dugout with Wes Burns and Harry Clark just before kick-off. Here is Smodics dropping off the front line, gives it to the left-hand side. Davis, still 1-0 Ipswich. That fourth-minute goal, the difference, an own goal. Taylor over the top, good run from Smodics, well picked out by Taylor. And the Peterborough connection couldn't quite find the back of the net. Smodics has gone down, holding his left knee as well. That's not good.
Always worries me when players go down like that on these modern surfaces. I think the modern surface doesn't do one's knees a lot of good, and we're constantly in football these days get a lot of ACL injuries, and I think it's a lot to do with the pitch. And that's a superb ball, from Jack Taylor. Sammy Smodics has got to concentrate on trying to pull the ball out of the air to bring it down to get a shot away, and in doing so he's lost his balance and he's hurt himself.
At least he's sitting up now, but that was really worrying. Connor Chaplin out warming up at the moment. He would clearly be the obvious change if needs be. He's clearly very uncomfortable, Smodics, clearly just stretching. What he made of the first 25 minutes, Mick Mills?
Well, I think the difference between the two sides is that Town play a more expansive game, if you like. They are constantly going down the sides with Leif Davis and Philogene on one side, and Johnson and Clark down the right-hand side. They are pretty good at doing that, and they've created one or two situations where they've been able to put very, very good crosses into the Town box that have been troubling Southampton quite a bit. When I look at Southampton, I think at the back they're trying to play a passing game right the way through the team. The section that are not very good at the moment is the back line. That's where it starts from. They're untidy, they're indecisive. The midfield is coming into the game now. They had a very quiet first 10 minutes, but they are taking over the game. Their three in there are more experienced than R3 and better than R3. And up front, I think it's mainly through Armstrong. Armstrong is the man out of the three up front. Fraser's relatively quiet. Robinson having a little bit of joy down the left-hand side, but it's Armstrong. It's through that middle section. Once Southampton get the first pass away and the midfield three get it and they can get Armstrong in the game, they are very effective.
Town playing with 10 men momentarily. By the looks of things, Smodics isn't going to be missing for too long. Southampton trying to capitalise on their man advantage. Have the ball with Harwood Bellis, just short of the halfway line, far side, the Southampton right. Harwood Bellis goes cross-field, he passes the ball straight to his manager. Very, very poor from him. And that helps Ipswich Town no end, because Ben Johnson won't be in a massive rush to get the ball back in play. And Smodics gets ready to come back on. Of course, had his injury problems last season, Sam Smodics. Johnson with this throw-in for Town, who are ahead inside the 27th minute. Hurst battling with Quasi. Ball goes behind the pair of them, and Stevens clips it up into the sky. Brought down by O'Shea. For Greaves in the end. And now it's back with Palmer. Short to Taylor. Oh, and now a mistake. Downs was right on him, but the ball squirts back to Palmer. So no damage done in the end, but a few oohs and ahs and heart flutters from supporters. Stevens with a big header halfway through the Ipswich Town half. Robinson battling with Johnson. Taylor gives it to Smodics. Smodics in field, straight to Stevens though. Stevens picks out Fernandez, making himself available on the angle. To his right hand side is Fraser. Fernandez has held on to the ball. Eventually gives it to Fraser. Back towards Harwood Bellis. He'll go square to Quasi up from the back. Now on the left hand side outside the Ipswich area is Wellington. He gets a good looking ball into the centre, headed away forcefully by O'Shea. Clark waits and shields it from Wellington, then puts his right foot through the ball. Hurst's going to go after it, as will Stevens. Stevens gets there ahead of the Scotsman, gives it back to Bazunu, who brings it down, rules it out short to Harwood Bellis on the edge of the D. Now with a bit more time, Stevens has the ball again. Charles, full Northern Ireland international, in fact their youngest ever captain at 21 as he was. Greaves coming through midfield, gets away from a couple of players. Downs can't get onto it, Stevens does. Fernandez to the right hand side, Fraser. This is ominous. Southampton coming forward. Fraser goes square towards Fernandez, comes off an Ipswich Town player coming back, Taylor. The danger's still there. Fernandez inside the Ipswich Town penalty area, a little roll back, gives it to the right, and Fraser, lots of blue shirts back. In comes the cross from Fraser, headed down and in. Southampton celebrate the equaliser. and it might well be a first ever Saints goal for the teenager Jay Robinson. We're all square after 29 minutes in the Portman Road sunshine. It's Ipswich Town 1, Southampton 1.
Well, it's a rash sort of decision by Leif Davis, if you like. We were short at the back because Jacob Greaves had made a surging run, and then he's decided he could go and win the ball just around the halfway line. He failed to do it. Fernandes was away, and he started to link up with Fraser, and his last ball was beautiful. He almost said to Fraser, I'm going to just pass this ball so you're going to get a first-time cross in. He did it, and Fraser's ball was absolutely perfect, and you don't miss opportunities like that. But that, again, is the Southampton midfield coming into it, particularly Fernandes.
Yeah, it's the 18-year-old's first ever goal for Southampton. Made his Premier League debut against Aston Villa back in April. Played for England through the age groups up to the 18s, and he wasn't going to miss that opportunity, as Mick was saying. It's a terrific ball in. Hurst on the left-hand side. Ball's gone out of play. At right back, it's a throw-in to Southampton, approaching the half-hour mark on BBC Radio Suffolk.
Well, this is as I expected it to be. I thought before the game it would be a very, very close contest, because for 2 years these two clubs have been really, really close in performance and in circumstance as well. And I saw the games last year, very tight, and I thought this one would be tight as well.
Matasiwa with a header to Davis. It's a compliment to Ipswich Town, if anything, that they've been so close to Southampton the last couple of seasons, and a lot of people have bunched them as a pair, or at least a trio with Leicester in there as well. But when you bear in mind that Southampton have spent 12 of the last 13 years in the Premier League, it says an awful lot about how far Ipswich Town have come. Just a little reminder that one season out of the last 23 in the Premier League for one club, 12 out of the last 13 for the other. We are even Stevens here this afternoon with 14 and a half to go in the first half. An own goal gave Town the lead inside 4, and then just recently Jay Robinson heading in to make it 1-1. Let's see how Town react to that setback. Kieran McKenna standing down below us, hands clasped behind his back as Matasiwa finds Clark on this near side. Clark has to roll the ball off the goal scorer Robinson and out for a throw-in, which Johnson will take. Here when the Saints go marching in, following on from a chance of who are you in the immediate aftermath of the equaliser. O'Shea picks out Johnson just inside the Southampton half of the field, disguised ball into Hurst. Hurst loses out to Stevens. Robinson skips away from Matasiwa, floats the ball out to Fraser. Fraser just keeps it in on the far side, then gives it back to Harwood Bellis. Now with Jack Stevens. And it is with Quasi. Just the 2 wins for Southampton last season. The one here was their only away win. They also beat Everton at St Mary's. And that was it for a long time, of course. They were on course to beat Derby's worst ever Premier League season. Ended up with 12 points in the end, 10 fewer than Ipswich Town. Quite clearly the worst team in the top flight last season under Russell Martin. And of course after that, Ivan Juric. He's done well for himself to get the Atalanta job in Italy, Ivan Juric. And of course Russell Martin is now in the Champions League with Rangers. Greaves to Philogene, infield towards Leif Davis. Downs challenges, wins the ball for Southampton. Here he is again, stretching, controlling it. Downs hauled down by Davis, wants to take the free kick, and the referee's penalised Downs for handball because he didn't think there was a foul on him. And now Downs is annoyed. He still wants to take the free kick, hasn't realised it's gone against him. He's in danger of talking himself into his 3rd yellow card in as many games. Let's get a word from Mr. Madley. Hasn't got the longest of fuses, Flynn, but terrific player.
Weird decision. I'm with Flynn Downs on that one. I think that he's been bowled over, and he's picked the ball up with his hands, but he's expecting the referee to make a simple decision, that's all.
He's smiling as he runs away, Flynn. Free kick to Ipswich on the far side of the field. Leif Davis, hands on hips. He's got O'Shea, Hurst and Greaves in central areas, just on the edge of the Southampton D off to our right-hand side. In comes the free kick from Davis to the far stick, and O'Shea flags up, but it won't count. It's a good header back towards the goal line. Hurst clatters into Bazunu, you should expect any striker to do, but nothing was going to come of it. It's a free kick to Saints.
Well, Dara O'Shea had gone offside, but his header was powerful. It was sort of going on target. I'm not sure what he meant to get the target, because it was a hell of an angle, but real power off from his header.
It's 2 wins in the last 9 league matches against Southampton for Ipswich Town. But up until 2 years ago, and of course they met at this level, they've gone 11 years without a league meeting, these two clubs. It's only in recent seasons, now 3 in a row, that these have been regular fixtures. Johnson with this throw-in for Ipswich Town. Can't go back to his captain inside his half of the field. Will's still a bit more animated than calm as ever. Kieran McKenna watching on. 1 goal from either side in this first half. Johnson, little Cruyff turn away from Robinson, gives it to Taylor. Downs goes into Taylor, takes him down. Free kick to Ipswich. Loves a challenge, Flynn Downs. Should be a good battle between those two. Here is Johnson once again with his blue shirt outside of his white shorts. The referee telling him to get a wriggle on. In the end, he leaves the free kick for O'Shea. O'Shea just walks up and belts it. Underneath it's Harwood Bellis. He heads it away from Philogene, who's been quiet of late. I suppose the ball hasn't been much in the wide areas for Clark or Philogene. Clark now is on the ball, gives it quickly to Johnson. Back in possession is Clark, down the line to Smodix. Quasi will step across the former Blackburn player and take it out for a throw to Ipswich. Outside the Southampton penalty area.
Yeah, he would worry me if I was a sort of a Southampton supporter, Quashi, but he's a little bit ponderous and a little bit indecisive. It's an area that Town can certainly attack.
Matches Seward to Taylor. Dutchman's got it back. He goes backwards towards O'Shea. O'Shea down the line finds Johnson. He'll control it. Everything to his left-hand side. He's looking up. Smodix is short in front of him. Also down the line, Clark gives it to Clark. Wellington takes him out right under the nose of the assistant on this near side. It's a free kick to Town in a good position, which Leif Davis looks likely to come across and take.
Yeah, well, a similar position. It's a bit further forward than the central one they had, but this is one that will involve the centre halves. They're going up. Jacob Greaves has arrived in the box. Dara O'Shea is just about getting there, so a lot of threat in the air. Hurst is good in the air. Jacob Greaves is good, and so is Dara O'Shea. Some good targets there.
Leif Davis in front of the TV camera near side. Town attacking the goal off to our right hand side for the final 8.5 minutes of this first half. Both sides on the score sheet. Town trying to go ahead again. What can the Geordie manufacture from this set piece? Just repositions the white ball a couple of yards in from this near touchline. Plenty players to hit in the centre. 7 or 8 blue shirts forward for Ipswich. Finally, Mr. Madley blows his whistle. Forward comes Davis, left-footed, very good. Headed away by Quasi, out as far as Philogene, still inside the area. He clips it behind off the Southampton player. Town win the first corner kick of the afternoon.
Yeah, good play by Philogene, because he's not going to be involved in the attacking of the ball. He's just going round the back to mop up, and that's exactly what he did. And then he's tried to get a cross in from the byline, and he's won Town a corner kick. Good play by Philogene.
Philogene on Ipswich Town's first corner kick inside the 38th minute of this championship match. Mr. Madley's happy. There goes the blow of the whistle in this loops from Philogene. It's travelled a long way out the other end without anyone getting a touch on it. Goal kick Southampton.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit argy-bargy going on there. The goalkeeper appeared as if he wanted to come, and he got stopped in his tracks. And then the ball, I think, in the end looked a little bit too long for everybody else, so went to nothing.
Quasi gets away from Smodix, back to Bazunu, the goalkeeper, inside his 6-yard area. Smodix closes him down, risky from Southampton, but it's worked out okay. Harwood Bellis then hangs a high ball down the far side. It swings in field where Greaves wins a header unchallenged. His header goes all the way to Stevens, the Southampton captain, takes the ball in his chest and just rolls it along the floor to Wellington. Back in field to Quasi, square up one of the mode lines here at Portman Road. 1-1, 7 minutes to go until half time on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Downs first time off the inside of his right boot, finds Fraser on the halfway line. Infield comes Harwood Bellis, took a risk, didn't work out. Here come Ipswich Town with Hurst. He's got Clark to his right hand side, he might need him. Great run! Hurst saved by Bazunu off his right foot, out as far as Matusiwa. Town keeping up the pressure. Davis into the Southampton area, charged down by the chest of Harwood Bellis, and it goes to him again on the far side. Then early downfield looking for the run of Armstrong. Palmer's way out of his area, he loses the ball to Armstrong, but O'Shea's covering in behind. Action at both ends there.
Oh, I thought when Hurst was going through he had good options, but he decided to go on his own, created a great chance for himself, perhaps should have scored, and then all of a sudden the ball has come up the Town defensive end. Goalkeeper Alex Palmer, big mistake. You don't try to control the ball, to keep possession in such a difficult situation. One touch in the stand or one touch up the field would do. He nearly got himself in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, Hurst just kept going and kept going. There wasn't a massive amount of conviction in his shot, saved by the right boot of Bazunu. Bazunu clears downfield towards Downs. Downs after this one for Southampton. Looked like a handball, the referee's seen it. So he shoot again in a good position. Very experienced referee. Robert Madley has refereed at the very highest level in the past. Taylor goes towards O'Shea. Downs going to go after him. Near side it's with Johnson. Will still has his hand in the air. Ball up towards Clark. Challenged by Wellington. Kieran McKenna's unhappy with that challenge. And the decision's been given against the Southampton man. It could be the first yellow card of the afternoon as well, as Kieran just pats the fourth official on his back. Obviously Will Still is complaining about that, but the Brazilian's name is in the book.
Not a bad challenge, but it was an accumulation of that type of challenge. The referee has been counting, as you know, how many challenges Wellington has put in. He's also doing a bit of a count, I think, on Flynn Downs as well. So he's got to be very careful that he doesn't go in the book as well, because when Flynn goes in the book, I think his effectiveness does tend to diminish a little bit. So, you know, it's the referee's doing a good job. He's not brandishing too many yellow cards. He's just counting. You know, if anybody is offending time and time again, they're in trouble.
Johnson going crossfield. Fraser's well positioned just to head the ball away from Philogene and back towards his own goalkeeper Bazunu. 4 minutes to go until we head into added on time, which I'd imagine will be a couple of minutes, partly because of the injury problem that Szmodek's had, but he's been fine ever since. Fernandez up against Philogene. Southampton come away with the ball. Fraser helps out Fernandez. Harwood Bellis, he's had a few wobbles in this first half off the back of scoring that early own goal. Stevens back to Kwasi as Matusiwa, Hurst and Szmodek were buzzing around. Bazunu finds Fraser. Infield to Stevens. Very much a footballing goalkeeper Bazunu, which is fine when it works. Fernandez robbed by Matusiwa. Well done. That'll do his confidence the world of good. Now Taylor wants to take on a few players, gets the better of Downs, gets the better of Fernandez. Brilliant run this from Taylor. Now wants to take on another player. Down goes Harwood Bellis. Just about to say play continues, but it doesn't. Taylor's furious with that decision. He gets a yellow card for his reaction from Robert Madley. That seems a bit of a harsh yellow to me.
He did superbly well there, Jack Taylor. Come under sort of pressure from 2-3 players, and then he looked as if he was going to go past a fourth one, but he did impede the guy. He wasn't going to get to the ball. I don't think it warrants that. That's where I think the referee should have continued with the way he's refereed the game. Just give him a chance.
I think it's from the reaction, but really referee, I don't think that, unless he said something absolutely horrific to him. I thought that's a very poor decision from Mr. Madley there, because Taylor's bound to be frustrated. It had been a terrific run. He was unlucky not to get away with it. Davis heads the ball away. 1-1. Final 2.5 minutes of the first half. Downs wins the ball for Southampton. Here is Fraser skipping in from the far touchline. Still has a lot to offer. Good player, Ryan Fraser. Kwasi to the left and Robinson. Robinson turns it around the corner to Wellington. Wide left outside the Ipswich area. Lovely sunshine now in Suffolk. Wellington turns, plays it off Clark. Corner kick to the Saints.
Yeah, they just sort of felt that movement from the left siders there was a little bit untidy, wasn't going anywhere, and they got in a position to win a corner, so they took it.
Southampton have a corner kick inside the last couple of minutes of this first half. Can they go from 1-0 down to lead 2-1 at the break? And it comes from Wellington. Poor again, headed away by Matusiwa. Near side, Fraser right-footed, and it comes, volleyed up high. by Hurst back helping out. Now challenging again. Southampton have the ball inside the Ipswich area. Charles with a shot towards goal, but it was just off target. And it's easily dealt with by Palmer. He'll put it out short, right at the feet of Greaves. Taylor touches it back to O'Shea. O'Shea dwells on the ball, looking around. Plays it across the field to Greaves. Greaves brings it down knee height. Had to stretch to do so. Now Davis in some space far side the Ipswich left. Downs comes across to close them down. Now it's with Philogene, trying to get away from Downs with a shimmy one way then the other. Philogene to Matusiwa. Short he goes to Jack Taylor, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Philogene tries the little dummy, brought down by Harwood Bellis. No, says the referee. He wasn't in a good position again, so we'll give him that one. Crowd aren't happy, obviously. Fraser off a Philogene throw to Southampton.
Well, I thought that was a Town free kick on that occasion, so, you know, the referee's is beginning, is the game beginning to affect him a little bit, because his last 5 minutes have been awful, really. You know, I think he needs the half-time cup of tea.
Kieran McKenna gets his notepad out of his back pocket down below us. Town has certainly been better than last Friday night. 1-1 here this afternoon's midday kickoff. Down shoved by Philogene, says the referee. It's rare that he's on the other side of one of those kind of challenges. Flynn Downs. Here's Harwood Bellis as we head into 3 minutes of extra minutes at the end of this first half. Of course, it was 20 years ago this year that these two sides contested the FA Youth Cup final, which Ipswich Town won for the third time in their history. Bazunu, long ball forward, brought down by Armstrong, edge of the Ipswich area, heads it to the right, and Fraser stretches, can't get on it. Now trying to turn away from Leif Davis. He's brought him down, both go to the deck. It's a goal kick to Palmer.
He's an experienced player, Fraser. He's capable of sort of giving Leif Davis a difficult time. He won't do Leif Davis too much for pace, but he might do him for trickery and cleverness.
31 now, Ryan Fraser. A fair few years up in the northeast at Newcastle, then just kind of fell out of favour. That's what initially got him the loan to Southampton. He was very, very good when he was here as a loan player early on in his career, until he picked up an injury. I seem to recall at Loftus Road, kind of ended that period of his career. Quasi with a header to Armstrong in field towards Matusiwa, as it turned out to be. Southampton get the rub of the green. Robinson running with the ball, very little away to support. Taylor stepped in there, doing some good work. Taylor took it off the Southampton goal scorer.
Oh my goodness.
And now the referee's awarded a free kick against Matusiwa, and he gives him a yellow card, which is perplexing. He's had a terrible few minutes, Robert Madley, it has to be said.
Yeah, I didn't really see what Matusiwa did there, but Taylor mopped up brilliantly. He did really well to take the possession off of Southampton and give Town a little bit of a breather. But there obviously was a free kick earlier there. I think it was shirt pulling. They've now got a free kick in a reasonable position to take us right on half time, so last opportunity probably could go to Southampton.
Final minute of the added on 3 at the end of this first half at Portman Road. It's Ipswich Town 1, Southampton 1. Southampton have got a free kick, good 36 yards from goal. Fernandez, the number 18, is over it. He clips it into the Town area off to our left, headed down towards the face of goal, and Stevens was following it up. Palmer got on the ball though, and that is that. 1-1 as he bowls it out to Davis, far side. Town trying to have a final throw the dice at the end of this first half. Philogene to halfway. Taylor back towards Philogene. He'll roll it back to Greaves. Final 20 seconds now. O'Shea just underneath the centre circle to Johnson on the right. Surely the last chance for either of these two teams to score the third goal of the game in this first half. Off a Southampton player it goes. Clark throws it into Matusiwa. Taylor, first time into the box, looking for Smodix. Bazunu comes and collects above his international colleague Sam Smodix, and that's it for the first half. 1-1 between these two sides at Portman Road, Mick Mills.
Well, first of all, I think it's a decent game. I think both teams have performed well. They've performed differently, but they've played well. It's an entertaining game. I think for Ipswich it's an improvement on the game at Birmingham that we saw last week. That was a dreadful performance, but this one's better. We look, as if most of our good work is going to go down the sides. Ben Johnson and Clark down the right, Davis, Philogene down the left. That's the roads that we're taking, purely and simply because I don't think we're good enough to go from O'Shea and Greaves, the two centre-backs, to the centre of midfield, and then on from there to Smodics and Hurst. We just don't seem to be able to do that at all. The centre-back pass to the midfield has disappeared, and it's disappeared purely and simply because Sam Morsey is not here. He loved that ball, he wanted it all the time, and he was good at it. But these two that are playing today are not comfortable with that pass. So ironically, when the centre-backs have it, they'll go across the pitch to their full-backs, then the full-backs go down the pitch. But we got off to a very good start. We got the goal in front, we got some good crosses in. I think George Hurst should have got us a second with a clear-cut header. But Southampton, who are playing a totally different game, they play a short passing game. They want to start with the back players, but the back players for me are not doing it very efficiently. They look as if there's a mistake in them, which is not a good thing when you want to pass the ball from the back to the midfield. But when they do get the midfield working, they look pretty good. They are ahead of us on possession, on stats, quite a bit ahead of us, and that is very apparent when you're watching the game. That three in midfield of Downs, Charles and Fernandes is very, very good, and they can get Fraser in the game, who looks handy on the right-hand side, but the man who is a real threat as far as a goal is concerned is Adam Armstrong. He's a little bit like Kyoto at Birmingham, the centre forward who played against us a week or so ago. He was small, he was lively, he gave O'Shea and Greaves a difficult time, and I think Armstrong is not necessarily getting the better of O'Shea, but he's given him a tough afternoon. He really is. So very close game, different in styles. They go in at 1-1. Very, very tight game. It's going to be a good second half.
Yeah, it is. All of which will be live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. But at the break, it's honours even. Ipswich Town 1, Southampton 1.
OK, your thoughts on that first half, most welcome as well. You can text in 81333, WhatsApp us at 08000 321 333. Start your messages with SFK. Mick Mills taking your calls at full time on 0800 141 2121.
On BBC iPlayer.
In Destination X, 13 players compete for £100,000. All they have to do is guess where in the world they are. Easy, right? Wrong.
Destination X. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
Ipswich Town 1, Southampton 1. In our main feature this afternoon on Matchday on BBC Radio Suffolk, we're on air with you through until 3 o'clock. There's one other match in the Championship today as Hull face Oxford at the MKM Stadium. That one gets underway at 3. 2 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League today. Amari Hutchinson's new club Nottingham Forest face Brentford, and World Club champions Chelsea take on the FA Cup and Community Shield winners Crystal Palace. Arsenal and Manchester United meet at Old Trafford later this afternoon at 4:30 to start their Premier League seasons. The Gunners haven't won the league since 2004, but they've been runners-up the past 3 campaigns. Manager Mikel Arteta thinks his side will lift the trophy sooner or later if they keep fighting.
You keep digging, and you have to be digging because one day the gold is going to be there, and that's all the time. When I've been tough, when I've been educated, and that's it. For 3 seasons, we have more points than any other team in this league, which is incredible. So that's all about the consistency. Now we have to do it in a season to earn 1 more point, to the same amount of points and more goals difference than any other team. That's the objective.
Ruben Amorim's side finished 15th in the table last season, but he insists things have changed at the club ahead of the new campaign.
We are better. I know that we are training harder, we are training better, so I know that we are more prepared to cope with the demands of the game. We have new players that we need to understand in the real game what they are capable to do in the moment, but I'm really more confident.
In non-league football, mentioned earlier, Needham Market enjoyed their first win of the season yesterday afternoon, edging out Worcester City 1-0 at Bloomfields. We'll hear from manager Tom Rothery during the final hour of today's matchday programme. Leiston took a point from their match away at Banbury, which finished 1-1, while there were defeats for both Bury Town and AFC Sudbury. Bury beaten 3-1 at home by Harborough, who started the campaign well. Sudbury losing 2-0 away at Alvechurch. In the FA Cup preliminary round yesterday, there were wins for Mildenhall Town, Haverhill Rovers and Lowestoft Town, who bounced back well from their 4-0 defeat to Stanway on Tuesday. The Trawler boys were 2-1 down at home to St Neots yesterday, but recovered to win 3-2 and progress through to the first round of qualifying for this season's FA Cup. Manager Andy Reynolds spoke with Gary Button after a memorable win at Crown Meadow.
Yeah, what a way to do it. A proper cup tie. Important that we just get the job done, and I think we have got the job done, and I hope everyone who is here agrees we've got it done and deserved the outcome in the end. I felt we carried a threat all game. One very good second goal. He's put the ball into a great area, and the lads haven't had to do much to get that in. But I said to the boys at half time, the result's not actually the big concern. It was just little bits that we needed to do better, mainly with our voices. So they're fairly easy solutions, and I was fairly confident that we could come back into this and win it. And fortunately they've proved me right.
Twice your club came back from being behind.
Yeah, and that takes character. And I think at this stage, while we're trying to grow our identity and try to have more control and trying to get more ideas across, I think it's really important that we show the character like that, especially at home games. I think supporters were fantastic today, and they will forgive you for a lot of things if they show the endeavour and the work. And I think maybe Tuesday night, it's not for the want to try, and we were undone by poor set plays, and maybe the kind of the attitude and the endeavour towards the end, we got quieter and less in the game. And I think today, actually, the punch on the nose of goals going in, we grew, and we showed what fight and spirit there is in the group at this early stage. But we'll still want to be doing better, and we'll still want more control, and we won't necessarily want everything to look like an FA Cup tie all through the season. But for today, like I said, the result was the most important thing, and we've done it.
And it's one of your new signings, and he's becoming a favourite here, Aaron Bullen, who got a brace, 2 in the second half.
Yeah, I guess we've been spoiled down the years with good forwards, and I think this year, having good attacking players that we've got, and people like Gabe, who you know what he can do, or I know what he can do. But yeah, Bully coming in, he's a breath of fresh air. His excitement for the game, and obviously half decent celebration as well. That's fantastic for us. And I think everyone knew at the back end of last year we were crying out for someone up there who would work as hard as he could, who could jump as high as he could, and obviously can finish as well. And the 2 goals he's taken today have been really good finishes, but credit Harvey Peters as well, because he's kept things in areas for us when we've had the goals, the set plays in the second half too.
Lowestoft Town boss Andy Reynolds with Gary Button after his side's victory over St Neots in the FA Cup yesterday. Both Mildenhall Town and Haverhill Rovers also through to the first round of qualifying. The Hall beat Wroxham 1-0, and Haverhill were 1-0 winners away at Ely. Felixstowe, Walton United and Newmarket Town will have a replay on Tuesday after they drew 1-1 in West Suffolk yesterday afternoon. A replay as well for Walsh and the Willows, who drew 2-2 away at Galston. You're with Matchday on BBC Radio Suffolk. Full second half commentary of Ipswich Town versus Southampton coming up. It's 1-1 at the interval. Let's have some Speedway briefly. Another win for Ipswich Witches on Thursday night over reigning Premiership champions Bellevue at Vauxhall Stadium. 52-38 the final score. It's the 5th time the Witches have got the better of the Aces from their 6 meetings in all competitions so far this season. It strengthens the Suffolk side's grip on first place in the table ahead of the playoffs, which get underway in a few weeks' time. There was another double-figure haul from Adam Ellis along with his teammate Tom Brennan. We'll hear from Witches team manager Richie Hawkins later in the programme, but right now the captain and the birthday boy from Thursday, Danny King, chatting with Stephen Foster.
Happy birthday, Danny.
Thank you very much.
Just what you wanted on your birthday, I should think.
Occasionally it falls on my birthday, but it's part of the job.
I can't believe that you're 39.
Neither can I, but I'm starting to feel it, I think, now.
You're nearly catching up with me.
We're getting there.
A great win for the Witches tonight. You played your part, of course.
Yeah, obviously disappointed about my second heat. Norwich moved a lot on the start, and unfortunately I touched the tapes, which meant I was excluded. It's a rule that I don't like, but it is the rule, and unfortunately there's not much you can do about it.
Because had he have not moved, you might not have touched the tapes.
Well, definitely not, no. I mean, when you're on edge and you're waiting for something to move and drop the clutch as quick as you can, when someone does jump like that, unfortunately it just reels you into the tape. So we've all been there. I've been on both sides of it. It's just part of the game.
And then a man who thought was your best mate took you out of the race. Because you could have gone from 15 yards, couldn't you?
Yeah, but I mean, the meeting was still close, and you know, at that stage of the meeting, it's very difficult to try and do something for 15 yards. So I think it was sensible.
Okay, but a great team performance again. There were so many highlights, weren't there? Particularly Heat 13. It had everyone up on their feet here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the guys here are producing some great speedway. And yeah, what can you say? I thought Heat 15 as well, with Adam's move around Dan, was very brave, and to pull it off was fantastic.
The track was playing up a little bit tonight, it seemed, particularly coming off Bend 2.
Yeah, I think there was a few issues with the track, but credit to the track staff, they worked hard and got it sorted in the end. But yeah, for a little while there, it was a bit tricky. But as I say, you've got to take your hat off to the track staff. You know, they stood up and fixed it for us, and we managed to get a good racetrack in the end.
Certainly, Fence 2 is taking a battering in recent weeks.
It has, but you know, that's normal for here. It's a tight track with a bit of dirt on it, so if you don't quite get the entrance right, unfortunately, you don't get the exit right either.
Bellevue huffed and puffed, didn't they? Got pretty close at one point, but you had enough in you, didn't you, to pull away from them again?
Yeah, I think you see that. You know, this team, I think we're solid throughout, and when we get dialed in and get in a rhythm, we're very strong at home, and we see that tonight.
So you've extended your lead at the top of the table tonight. Only 4 races to go before the end of the actual season, before you get to the playoffs, so you must be quietly confident of staying at the top of the table now?
Yeah, obviously that's the plan. You know, the playoffs, we'll worry about that when we get there, but try and finish top. I think the boys are all, you know, getting into form, and I think we're hitting form as a team at the right time. So signs are good. We just got to take it 1 minute at a time.
Ipswich Witches team boss Richie Hawkins and captain Danny King with Stephen Foster after another win over reigning Premiership champions Bellevue. Sorry, that wasn't Richie Hawkins, it was Danny King. Richie Hawkins later in the programme. You hear from him after 2 o'clock during our final hour. 4 wins in a row now for the Witches, though, since the disappointing knockout cup exit. Next week, 2 meetings. Tomorrow, Ipswich go to Leicester. Kings Lynn are at Vauxhall on Thursday. Full second half commentary of Ipswich Town versus Southampton coming up.
Quasi's taking a risk. Hurst got the better of him. Hurst inside the area, pulls it back. Clark deflected it in. It's an own goal. The players in blue go to celebrate with Jack Clark. He got the final touch from an Ipswich Town man perspective, but it's come off a Southampton player. It beat Bazunu. Town had started this game well. It exerted all sorts of pressure on that goal off to our right-hand side. But Southampton have cracked. Town lead 1-0 inside 4 minutes. Philogene has this free kick just underneath the Southampton fans. What can the former Villa player do? And it comes good cross from him. Glancing header from Hurst, and he probably should have done better. Fernandez inside the Ipswich Town penalty area. Little roll back, gives it to the right, and Fraser. Lots of blue shirts back. In comes the cross from Fraser. Headed down and in. Southampton celebrate the equaliser, and it might well be a first ever Saints goal for the teenager Jay Robinson. We're all square after 29 minutes in the Portman Road sunshine. It's Ipswich Town 1, Southampton 1. Here come Ipswich Town with Hurst. He's got Clark to his right hand side. He might need him. Great run! Hurst saved by Bazunu off his right foot, out as far as Matusiwa. Town keeping up the pressure.
This is our BBC.
We're looking at a dry and fine settled day.
It can take us anywhere.
I hear we're going down the beach.
Raise questions.
So let's try and join all the dots.
Bring us down to earth.
Floating in a spacesuit.
We can share it with others.
Joining us live at the Royal Albert Hall.
Raising billions. Drawing millions of people.
Other creatures are also listening.
Building our future.
The BBC has put £5 billion into the economy.
There's a BBC for each of us, funded by all of us. This is our BBC.
It's a little after 1 o'clock. You're with the match day on BBC Radio Suffolk, on air till 3. In the final hour of the programme, you're welcome to have your say on Ipswich Town today. Ipswich Town so far this season, the transfer window, those moves involving Nathan Broadhead and Amari Hutchinson, all kinds of things. 0800 141 2121 to book your place on the phone. In Mick Mills taking your calls after the full-time whistle this afternoon. Let's rejoin Mick and first Brenna Woolley ahead of the second half.
Town have got Palmer in the goal off to our right. Back four, Johnson, O'Shea the captain, Greaves and Davis. Then Matusiwa and Taylor in midfield, both on a caution. Then a three of Clark, Smodics, Philogene in behind Hurst. On the bench, Walton, Wolfenden, Kipre, Humphreys, Kayuste, Young, Chaplin, Ogbeni and Ayindi. Southampton have got Bazunu in all orange off to our left, their goalkeeper. Back four of Harwood, Bellis, Stevens, Quasi and Wellington on a caution. Then you've got Downs and Charles, and then three of Fraser, Fernandez, and their goal scorer Robinson. Up front is Armstrong. On the bench, McCarthy, Wood, Edwards, Manning, Sugawara, Matsuki, Dibbling, Brereton, Diaz and Archer. Town in blue, white, blue, playing from right to left, so kicking towards the north stand end in this second half, up against the red and white stripes of Southampton with the black shorts, white socks. One of two championship games this today. Hull versus Oxford gets underway in a couple of hours from now. Immediately there's a foul wide on the left-hand side on an Ipswich Town player, so it's a free kick which Philogene is going to be taking in a good position. Philogene or Davis, actually. And an opportunity to cause Southampton some problems inside the first minute of the second half. Davis standing over this free kick, 7 or 8 yards, a little bit further now from the left corner of that Saints area. He's got Philogene wide of him. Otherwise, all of the obvious targets are to his right-hand side inside that Southampton penalty area. Town went ahead early in the first half. What can they do after a minute of the second? Referee seems happy. Davis over this wide free kick. Two-man wall in the way, Fraser and Armstrong. Here comes Davis, and the ball curls. Good one. It's headed over the bar. Town should have done better from that opportunity. That should have been on target.
Yeah, it's a good ball in. That's all you got to do. You got to just know exactly where you want to put the ball, and it's got to avoid the goalkeeper. It's got to go into a dangerous zone, a zone that you can score from, and that's what Leif Davis did. It was a free-ish header, but it went sort of high over the bar.
Greaves brought down by Armstrong. Play continues. Ball goes back to Palmer in front of the Ralph Ramsey stand. Now Davis down the line to Philogene with those bright orange boots. Hurst, lovely turn away from Stevens. Pass to Britt through to Smodics. Smodics gets away from Quasi. Still work to be done. Smodics inside the area, shoots and hits the post, and it comes straight back to Bazunu. Oh, he was so unlucky, and the goalkeeper so fortunate that it came back to him.
Well, it's Quasi again who's found wanting. He's not good with the ball at his feet, and he's pretty slow with his movement and his running. I think he's very suspect, and that was a great effort from Sammy Smodics. It really was. It was a difficult angle, but he's hit the post with it.
Fernandez turns away from Taylor. Good play from the Portuguese. Gives it to Charles. Here comes Southampton early in the second half. Charles tries to pick his spot. It's well wide. Palmer watched that float off to his left-hand side, and he's now picking it up from under a TV microphone.
Yeah, ineffective effort. He's gone for the top corner with his right foot when he had a terrific overlap down the left-hand side from Wellington. When you hit a bad shot like that, you tend to think, well, he should have used the guy going on the overlap. But you never know.
3 gone in the second half. McMills alongside me, watching 2 of his former clubs. Here is Smodics, the number 23. Lets the ball roll to 47. Jack Clark running with it down the right-hand side outside the Southampton area. Gives it to Smodics. First time back to Johnson. He stands on the ball, then crosses, headed away by Quasi. Out is Fernandez. A little nod on from Fernandez towards Armstrong. Back towards Fernandez. Here comes Southampton on the break. To the right-hand side, it's Fraser. Armstrong wants it in behind. Greaves blocks that off. Well done, Jacob Greaves. That was important. Given away, though, by Ipswich. Out near side for a throw-in.
Well, that was a wonderful break down the right-hand side, and the ball almost hit the target, but Jacob Greaves' sliding interception was superb.
Howard Bellis up towards Fernandez. He curls the ball off the outside of his right boot to the far side, and Wellington, the only Southampton player on a caution. Infield to Charles. Charles picks up Downs. Downs goes back towards Harwood Bellis. Hugging this right touchline underneath us, Fraser gets the ball, curls it in off of Philogene. Down goes Greaves under pressure from Armstrong. The ball's back with Palmer. And after 49 minutes, we're still 1-1 on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Every kick of every Ipswich Town game. Be alongside Alex Matthew at Preston on Saturday. Then Derby here the following Saturday, rounds off the first month of fixtures for Town. Philogene on a mazy dribble, gets some help from Taylor. Taylor then loses the ball. Harwood Bellis has it for Southampton. Robinson just inside the area, tries to pick his spot, blocked off by a combination of the two centre-halves. The ball's back with Palmer. I think we're probably going to see a goal at some point in the second half.
Well, we've got to be careful because, you know, that there's a mistake appearing occasionally in the Town defence. We've seen Southampton suffer from that in the first half. We certainly don't want it from our boys in the second half.
These two sides only met back in February. Breakaway 1 second. Clark to Smodics. Town coming forward. End to end at the moment. Smodics ball into the centre. It's met by Stevens. Comes towards Philogene with the spectacular overhead from 8 yards. And it's over the top and out.
Well, he's gone for the spectacular instead of gone for the efficient one. You know, he's just concentrated on the acrobatics more than the hitting of the target.
I was just about to say, these two sides only met start of February, so what's that, 6.5 months ago, something along those lines. 7 of Ipswich Town's starting lineup are no longer at the club, if you compare the two teams. So much change this summer. Downs to Fernandez, end to end at the moment, both sides trying to take a goal-scoring foothold on this second half as soon as possible. Southampton playing it around in midfield with their 3 midfielders, Downs, Fernandez and Charles, all seeing a bit of the ball. Fernandez it is who spreads it wide to the left, and Wellington infield to Robinson, beaten by Matusiwa. A free kick given against the Dutchman. A strong challenge on Robinson, which left him on the deck, but from a long way out it looked fair enough. But anyway, the referee is very close to it, and has to be said there aren't too many complaints from Town players down there. Kieran McKenna having a look at the rewind. Didn't make a great deal of contact with Robinson by the looks of things.
No contact, but he's obviously put the Southampton guy off, but I don't know whether that warrants a free kick. I really don't. I think both players made a mistake.
Yeah, I don't think so. Free kick to Southampton. This could be troublesome for Ipswich Town. Fernandez is the red-hot favourite to take it. 6.5 minutes gone in the second half at Portman Road. Southampton's last win of a Town at this level was 14 years ago, that 5-2 victory here. What can Fernandez do from this set piece? Maybe 23 yards from goal. The Portuguese gets it up. It's still rising as it goes over the roof of Palmer's net.
Every Town player back in his own penalty area there, which is quite right, you know, so we were set up nicely defensively. The goalkeeper possibly might have known that was going towards the near post, because he sort of took up a position which slightly favoured that side, you know, and that's the side that Fernandez went for, but it was very, very harmless, and it's gone way over the top.
Matusiwa loses out to Charles. Charles shields the ball out for a throw-in front of the Southampton supporters. Maybe Azor Matusiwa just slightly rattled, having given away that free kick. Southampton have actually won 4 of their last 5 games here in all competitions. This one at the moment is all square, but as I've been saying in the build-up to this game and early on, there's been so much late drama between these two sides this last couple of seasons when they've been reunited. Things will get very nervous if we're still at this state of play heading into the 91st minute and beyond. Here is Quasi trying to wind up a long throw for Southampton, trying to take the lead for the first time in this game. Quasi with a throw, looping one into the Ipswich Town box, headed away by O'Shea. Missed effort by Wellington. Can Town break? Smodics is on the ball, still inside his half of the field. He's gone on to it, still Smodics. A lot of work to be done. Back comes the defender, and Wellington gets it back to Bazunu. Smodics was on his own in terms of blue shirts and obviously running with the ball, so couldn't run as fast as those Southampton players who were neck and neck with him without the ball. And eventually Smodics lost it. Town have it back now, though, on the far side with Johnson. Clark takes on Robinson, gets the better of him, wants to beat Wellington. Ball comes off Wellington. Ipswich throw by the corner flag in the far left corner.
What's amazing in this game is there's more big mistakes in this one than I've seen in any sort of game, really. Both sides have been guilty of it. That was Southampton guilty of one there. Smodics nearly sort of had a clear run through for a 1-to-1 on the goalkeeper.
Southampton about to make a change by the looks of things. Could be Nathan Wood, who's a defender, I think, by the looks of things. Just 3 teams so far blemish-free or 100% records in the Championship. Stoke, West Brom And Middlesbrough have 6 points out of 6. Southampton trying to join them here this afternoon. At the moment, though, it's 1-1. Ball goes back from Matisiwa all the way to Palmer. Palmer out to Taylor. Taylor has to go back to Palmer. Downs is going to close him. That was a little bit shaky, but Town have got the ball out to Davis near side. Davis in field. Down stretches. Can't get onto it. Philogene now has the ball. Needs support from Taylor and gets it. He's only shirt tug, Philogene. Well spotted, Mr. Madley. Free kick.
Yeah, I think both teams are capable because the press is coming from both teams really well, and the indecision is the same for both teams at the back end. I think there's going to be a big mistake in this game to possibly win it.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me if there's another goal. Davis, great run from him through midfield, then round the back for Smodics. Quasi covers, gives it straight to Hurst though, poor defending. Hurst tries to go around Stevens, he can't, and the ball's out behind. The goal kick. Manning is the first change for Southampton, their free kick hero last week, grabbed that stunning equaliser. He's going to replace Wellington, like for like, in that left back area. So yeah, bearing in mind what he did against Wrexham, Town won't want to give away any free kicks within 20-25 yards of Palmer's goal line. Not always been a fan's favourite, Ryan Manning, but delighted them at the death last week at St Mary's. Wellington gets a firm handshake from Will Still, as Manning's the first substitute to be used by either manager. 10 and a bit minutes gone in the second half at Portman Road. All eyes on Gavin Bazunu off to our left. The goalkeeper floats this chip free kick towards halfway. Fernandez glances it on. Fraser with a header in field. O'Shea gets there ahead of Downs, lifts it up towards Hurst. Hurst nod to the left hand side, kept in play by Philogene. He's done well, the number 11. Tries to play it back in field off the outside of his boot to Hurst. Deflected off a Southampton player. Back to their goalkeeper afterwards. Have your say. We're on air till 3 o'clock. 0800 141 2121 is the phone number. Bazunu plays it out. I'll give you the text details in a second when Southampton play their way out of a little tight area. Harwood Bellis up towards Armstrong. Armstrong tried to get between Matisiwa and O'Shea, couldn't. Armstrong runs into Matisiwa off the ball. Free kick on halfway town. The text number 81333. Start those messages SFK. WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Again, start those SFK. If you want to join me on the Blue Hour tomorrow night, you can also email me, brenner@bbc.co.uk, BRENNER bbc.co.uk. Davis's cross in, deflects. Stevens deals with it for Southampton. Fraser against Taylor, and it's Stevens who just wellies the ball forward and gets applauded by his manager for not taking risks in that area. Greaves with a throw into O'Shea.
Well, it just looks as if Town can just apply a little bit of pressure on Southampton at the moment. You know, the game is a little bit iffy. Neither side is really sort of taking control of it.
Of course, Town's 2 games so far have ended 1-1. And that's where we are still at after Robinson cancelled out that early own goal, which set Town on their way just after midday when this game kicked off. Greaves goes back towards Palmer, who's closed down by Armstrong effectively. The clearance from Palmer goes off Armstrong, and out behind it is for a goal kick to a former West Brom player.
I'll tell you what, you can't take your time on the ball when this guy Adam Armstrong is around. He's really feisty, he gives everything, and he's quick across the ground, you know, so he can get to the player that he wants to make the challenge on very, very quickly.
He's a good player, 28 years of age. Still a lot of football left in him. 24 goals 2 years ago when Southampton went up after beating Leeds at Wembley. Philogene down the left-hand side, running with the ball, comes inside, runs into traffic and loses it. Wonder when he'll make way, not because of his performance level, but just because he's played so little football recently. I guess we might see O'Benny at some stage. Almost given away by Harwood Bellis. He's had a tricky afternoon out of position at right back. Southampton at the moment waiting for James Bree to come back from an injury, and that's a square peg in a square hole. Mick?
Yeah, he doesn't look so good at right full-back as he does at centre-back.
He's a very good defender, Taylor Harwood Bellis. Greaves goes back to Palmer outside of his area, to Taylor. Taylor cushions it back to O'Shea. Town can break forward a bit to an extent now, but Southampton still have bodies in the way before O'Shea gets to halfway. O'Shea flings the ball across the park to Davis, brings it down up to the edge of the area, squeeze the pass to the edge of the box. In comes Manning, the substitute. Out near side for a throw-in. Kieran McKenna applauds above his head underneath us. Philogene throws the ball to Taylor, the starter in all 3 games so far. Taylor. Here is Dara O'Shea, got the night off at Bromley. Likewise Greaves. Just a shame for those fringe players that's it for cup football until the new year now for Ipswich Town. But they've got to be ready, got to be setting on their marks if there is an injury, and they are required if you're a Wolfenden or a Kiprale, those kind of players. Humphrey's on the bench tonight. He had a good game at Bromley. Down the line from Davis to Philogene. Philogene first time in field towards Hurst. Hurst collects it, gives it square. Excellent play from Hurst. Here come Ipswich Town coming forward with Johnson. Ball into the box to Smodic. Smodic tries to play it square. It's gone off Quasi. Town have their first corner kick and a half.
Well, if a ball had been turned into the box nicely there, Jack Clark was completely and utterly free. He would have had a tap in, he really would, but we just couldn't get the ball to him.
Exactly an hour gone at Portman Road. The home crowd believe that this could be a key moment in the game. Fingers crossed. It's a corner kick to Town, which Davis is going to take it over in the far left corner, the join of the Sir Bobby Robson stand and the Cobbold stand. Town playing from right to left in the second half. Davis, hands in the air, that's the signal. Left-footed, swings it towards the far post, headed down by O'Shea. Appeals for a corner off the back of Stephen's head, and he's got it.
Yeah, he got the first touch on the ball, O'Shea, but the deepness of the ball has taken him beyond the far post, and he couldn't really sort of steer it on target, and he gets his team another corner kick from the opposite side.
Philogene, on his first appearance of the season, has this corner kick for Ipswich Town, trying to go ahead again in this championship match at home to Southampton. It's 1-1. Smattering of blue shirts in the area off to our left, waiting the delivery from Philogene. In it comes, looks a good ball. Greaves flung himself at it, yet to score here, Jacob Greaves. Ball's out the far side for a goal kick to Saints.
Cool, we've overcommitted ourselves there. I think that was a case of just holding your ground a little bit, and the ball would have got right the way through, would have got a free header, but wanted so much to get into the rucker players, and that was a bad decision.
Town with that win in 10 in all competitions. Heading into this game, another Southampton player could be getting ready for action down below us. Saints meanwhile playing the ball around short inside their area until Quasi clears his lines up towards Fraser. Davis goes over the top of him and wins the header. Taylor battling in the middle of the park with Fernandez. Taylor ends up on the deck. It was a 50-50, fair challenge. Referee's correct to say play on. Now with Harwood Bellis going short to his captain Stevens. Now Quasi to that far side and Manning. Southampton with plenty of possession. 17.5 gone then in this second half. So still a good half hour's worth of action when all said and done to go, one would have thought. Well done, Greaves intercepted the ball from Fernandez, but then he and Philogene got in each other's way, because that was a promising scenario. Nice play from Charles, not so good when he went towards Downs, well read by Smodic. Good play from the former Blackburn man. Now it's with Johnson in the centre circle, rolls it forward, but nowhere near Hurst or Clark, and it's Bazunu's ball. But good to see Taylor and Hurst both applauding.
The quality of the game has gone down, it really has. You know, I think Town have dominated territorially, but they're not really very good on the ball, not very tidy on the ball, and Southampton have disappeared from the game as far as quality is concerned.
Harwood Bellis, ball up towards Armstrong, controls under pressure from Matusiwa, back into the Dutchman. Armstrong leaves it. Oh, well done Matusiwa, just as Fernandez looked to go forward. Good play from the Dutchman. Philogene on the left-hand side, infield towards Taylor, who stabs it forward on the stretch, nodded by Fraser towards halfway. Armstrong tangling again with Matusiwa. Good little battle between those two. Matusiwa just got to watch his step a little bit, being on a yellow, but he did very well there. He's clearly going to get better and better the more he plays. And a bit of time on the training field this week as well, of course. Clark loses the ball. Town get it back. Matusiwa tries to send Smodic on his way. Quasi gets the better of Smodic on that occasion and passes it out far side and has a right old go at himself. Joshua Quasi, who's only 21. Johnson to O'Shea in the 20th minute of this second half. O'Shea forward to Hurst. Flag has stayed down. Onside, wide right, outside the Southampton penalty area. Hurst outside the box, can't shoot from the byline. Gives it back to Clark just outside the box. He tiptoes into the area, hammers it across the face, or that's what he intended to do. It's blocked off very early on. Goes back to Johnson, who looks up. Archer about to come on for Southampton. Still no sign of a change from the Ipswich Town bench. Clark keeps the ball in, far side, runs into traffic, out off of Charles, through to Ipswich outside the Southampton box.
Well, I think they tried to get Clark offside, and then it was Hurst who ran from deep for the loose ball, and that's why there was a serious problem for Southampton.
25 minutes of normal time to go. Ipswich have it on the right with Johnson. Lovely sunny Sunday afternoon here at Portman Road. Matthew Seawer crosses beyond the far stick looking for Davis. Davis heads it up towards goal, but it's always going to be taken easily by Bazunu, and indeed it is.
You can't head that type of ball towards the goalkeeper. You're not going to score from that position. It's got to go towards a colleague, away from the goalkeeper.
Matsuki was a Japanese midfielder, his second season, although yet to feature in the league. He was on loan elsewhere last season. He's about to come on with Archer, former Sheffield United and Aston Villa striker. Southampton with Quasi along the deck to Manning. Manning in field. Robinson inside the area, held back by Robinson. Shoot saved by Palmer on his near post. That was a stinger of an effort from Robinson. Palmer got down sharply, and it's only a corner kick to Southampton.
Well, that was a nice little move from the right touchline across the pitch, and they, in the end, they get a shot away, sort of in the inside left position, and it was a good shot as well struck, and it was a good save.
Fernandez in front of the Southampton fans over in the far right corner underneath the big screen here at Portman Road, which still says Ipswich Town 1, Southampton 1. Corner kick Saints in the 67th minute. So 3/4 of the championship game gone. In it comes low, touched away by Matasiwa, at as far as Fraser. Right-footed curling cross into the centre, headed away well by Taylor. Davis is going after it, so too Robinson. Balls come off Davis, much to the anger of the home crowd down below. Very difficult one to judge. We got a bird's eye view of that. I had no idea. Kieran McKenna chatting to Jens Kajuste at the moment. This could be a story. He would have come on and positively impact. As I said earlier on, Will Still knows all about him, having managed him at Rams a couple of seasons ago. Fraser with a throw-in for Southampton, gets it to Downs, wide right outside the Southampton area. Back it goes to Fraser, chance for him to cross, it curls in low, easily dealt with by Palmer. There's only one Southampton player in an attacking area inside the 18-yard box. Still Archer and Matsuki wait. Taylor's on the ball for Ipswich Town. Into the final quarter of this match. Harwood Bellis heads the ball into midfield. Davis gets the better of Fraser. Could this be a chance for Town? Davis is inside the area, leaves it to Philogene. Philogene has the ball inside the Southampton area. Back heel to Davis, wide left. In comes his cross. It's gone a long way. The slightest of touches from Manning takes it away from Smodix, and out for a throw on the far side. Kind of going to bring on Connor Chaplin as well by the looks of things. Here comes the change for Southampton. First of all, though, they're going to be taking off Robinson, their goal scorer. He's going to be replaced by Matsuki. And the other alteration for Southampton is Fernandez is going off. So Matsuki is coming on for Southampton, so too Archer. And they're taking off Fernandez and Robinson. Town eventually will have a throw-in. Don't think the Town changes are going to come in this break. Now Kieran McKenna still watching on, but Chaplin and Kajuste are stripped and ready. We are 90 seconds shy of the 70-minute mark in this game, so a lot of football still to be played. No goals scored in the second half. We're still 1-1 at Portman Road. Johnson throws the ball back to Matasiwa. Charles goes after him. Matasiwa gives it back to O'Shea. O'Shea square to Greaves inside the Town half. Greaves goes back to Palmer. Palmer first time out towards O'Shea. Adam Armstrong stops running after the ball, and O'Shea gives it to Johnson. Johnson down the line to Clark. Clark is robbed by Manning. Archer comes away with the ball up towards Armstrong. Back to Charles, the number 24. On the left-hand side, Manning. Manning crosses into the area looking for Matsuki, stretching to get it away as Greaves. Southampton head it back into the Ipswich area. And back to Alex Palmer, as maybe the change can now be made from the Ipswich bench.
Yeah, I think it's becoming a difficult game to read, really. I think Town are probably in charge of the game in a way, you know, but just purely and simply, I think that they've got more power than Southampton at this present moment, and they are forcing a number of mistakes from the Southampton players. Southampton's quality has momentarily disappeared. There's been one or two sort of nice moves, but generally speaking, their quality is gone.
Well, Town are about to bring on quality from the bench in the shape of Chaplin, Kayuste and Ogbeni. It's a real freshen up for Ipswich. It's needed. Good shout from Kieran McKenna. Here come the alterations. Smolix already knows that his time is up. He's coming across. So too Town taking off Philogene first of all. Good to see him back and playing. Taylor is also going off to be replaced by Kayuste. And Clark is the third man coming off to be replaced by Ogbeni. So those three in behind Hurst are making way. But Chaplin, Kayuste. Oh, sorry, no, it's not. Two's the one that's stayed out there. Certainly Smodix has come off. Smodix has now come back on, he's waiting to see what he's meant to be doing. Yeah, Taylor has gone off. Massive roar for Jens Kayuste. So yeah, Taylor, Clark and Philogene are the players who've gone off eventually. Working that one out for Kayuste, Chaplin and Ogbeni. 29,128 the attendance at Portman Road. So that's quite some reception that Jens Kayuste got on his return to action for Ipswich Town. I don't think we'd see him this early, bearing in mind the way that Kieran McKenna spoke to me at St Andrews post-match last Friday. Didn't feature at all at Bromley, but great that he's up and running for the season. Forward the ball goes, 27 minutes played in the second half. Quasi doing some defending against Hurst, turns it in field. Stevens, risky towards Bazunu, who's challenged by Smodix. Smodix goes down, and it's not a penalty, it's the opposite. It's a free kick to Southampton for Smodix challenge on Bazunu. That was very messy from Southampton's perspective, and Sam Smodix has really taken a smack from his international colleague. But after all of that, it's going to be a Southampton free kick inside their penalty area. Dar O'Shea has jogged to have a word with the referee about that. This is exactly the sort of thing in the Premier League. We'll probably be sitting for 10 minutes waiting for a decision to be made, but the referee's made the shout, and that's what's going to be happening.
But it's another mistake again from the left side defender, Kwasi. It was a really untidy ball that he tried to play over his shoulder in the air to a colleague. He didn't really know whether that colleague had anybody in close quarters. He shouldn't be playing that ball. He's very, very lackadaisical for me. He's got to sort of get some more urgency. As I say, that for me, it looks more like it's going to be a big mistake that is going to cost somebody in the end. And at the moment, it's the Southampton defenders who are making the most mistakes.
It's a fair shout from the referee. Smodix sportingly just accepting the apology from Bazunu. As I say, both play for the Republic of Ireland. Both, one would imagine, will be away on international duty at the start of next month. Free kick to Southampton. Final 17 minutes of this game. Still 1-1 between these two sides. A regular scoreline for Ipswich Town at the moment. Town have the ball at the back. O'Shea digs out his clearance towards halfway. Hurst down to Chaplin. Chaplin tries to find Ogbeni. Manning wins the header, headed on by Stevens. O'Shea angles a pass out to the left-hand side. Smodix is after it. He always knew that Harwood Bellis was going to get the first. He was happy for him to do so. He knew that he was running out of pitch, and all he could do was take the ball out of play. Smodix knew that he was going to win a throw-in off of Harwood Bellis, and that's what's happened. As Ipswich goalkeeping coach Rennie Gilmartin is getting a bit hot under the collar. It's been calmed down by the Fourth official. Kieran McKenna, meanwhile, looking as calm and pensive as he does most of the time. Davis with a throw towards Chaplin. Chaplin to Hurst, edge of the area, back to goal. Can't do anything with it. Charles breaks out for Southampton to the left, and Archer. Ogbeni goes after him. Archer still has the ball. Back to Charles. So little between these two teams. Manning puts it back to Bazunu. Bazunu clears to halfway. Johnson should be able to bring it down or deal with it. Hasn't just yet. Archer's all over him. Johnson still has the ball. And he's taking that for a throw into Southampton. That's poor from Ben Johnson.
Yeah, it's as I keep saying, a very difficult game to read in the second half, because I think both teams have sort of dropped their performances a little bit, you know, and you're not quite sure what's going to come. I think it's more, as I keep saying, going to be a big mistake rather than some clever football.
And it could be yet more late drama between these two sides for the fourth game in a row. Wouldn't rule out. Charles for Southampton tries to poke it through the gap for the onrushing Archer. Town get it away. Won by Stevens. Ipswich, though, get it back. Final quarter of an hour. The former Portsmouth player Chaplin's been booed by the Southampton fans, so they've enjoyed him being upended by Charles. Chaplin takes the free kick too quickly. That's a terrible waste from him. Straight to Bazunu. Poor, really. Southampton with Fraser. Goes back to Harwood Bellis. Now Bazunu. Southampton still leading the possession stats, one would have thought. Stevens to Quasi. Quasi downfield looking for the run of Archer. Dealt with comfortably by O'Shea. Johnson boots it forward. Won by Stevens before Hurst could get there. Downs takes it on his chest. Quasi slides his ball back to Harwood Bellis. Near side this right is Fraser. Fraser tries to find Armstrong. Greaves is challenged by the former Newcastle and Blackburn player. Armstrong's up to his feet. Does he want to throw off Kiyustin? No, says the referee. Davis then takes it out for a throw. Armstrong quickly towards Matsuki. But O'Shea gets there, plays it back to Palmer. Palmer controls it out towards Masusiwa. Back to O'Shea, who did the right thing, just launched it up and away. Chaplin against Quasi. Quasi gets the better of the Town substitute. Fraser finds Downs. Not much quality in this game at the moment. Southampton trying to take the lead, though. Fraser has the ball outside the Ipswich area, and it bends, headed away by Greaves. Controlled by Chaplin. Chaplin goes up towards Quasi, runs into him. He releases the ball to Ogbeni. Ogbeni up against Manning, running it down the far touchline, the substitute. Ogbeni cuts in field, he's still got it. In his ball comes, clearly hit a hand. It's gone out of play for a corner kick to Ipswich Town.
That's a good run by Ogbeni. That's what you want to do when you're a winger. Sometimes it's all about gaining territory, and that control and running of the ball, he's travelled 50 yards, if you like, just to win a corner, and it's taken all the pressure away from Town. Now we've got a good box scene, we've got a good deliverer from Leif Davis, so that's what Ogbeni's achieved. He's given us the opportunity.
12.5 minutes to go at Portman Road. Can Ipswich Town take the lead for the second time in this game? It might be crucial if they do. It's 1-1. Southampton have everyone back defending this corner. In from Davis, punched away by Bazunu. Not very far, but he's been impeded, says the referee. Free kick to the visitors.
It's really unnecessary. I think the ball shouldn't really go quite as close to the goalkeeper as that. You're giving him the opportunity to make contact. Invariably, if he's going to make contact to the ball, somebody will make contact with him, and a free kick will be given.
Matusiwa gets a shove in the back from Archer. Matusiwa still comes away with the ball on halfway far side, floats it down the line towards Ogbeni. In goes Quasi. Out the ball goes into the lower tier of the cobbled stand. So Town back in action next Saturday at Preston, then Derby come here, final game before the first international break of the season. That's that Friday night against Sheffield United here off the back of it. Actually, 3 of Town's current 4 are at Portman Road. After that, Town are away to Blackburn before Portsmouth come here. Chaplin up towards Johnson. Johnson into the area, pulls it back all the way to Davis. Davis gets inside the Southampton area. This is a chance, but he smashed his effort wide of the side netting into the lower tier of the Sir Bobby stand.
Well, that's the position Leif Davis likes to get into, and invariably he delivers a ball, either a shot or a cross, that has got quality written all over it. On that occasion it was a shot that was the opportunity, and he should hit the target. He really should. He's got a quality left foot, but he cut right across it, and it's gone harmlessly wide.
This isn't so good. Tyler Dibbling might be coming on for Southampton. This boy's a player. First appearance of the season it would be. Southampton battling for the ball inside their half. Eventually it's Leif Davis who comes away with it, gets the better of Matsuki, who leans into him. Free kick to Ipswich. It's going to be taken wide left, probably by Davis. So probably, pretty much certainly by Davis. Yeah, Dibbling is indeed coming on, subject of a lot of interest from Everton. Talk of Southampton wanting more than 40 million for him. Did look a lovely player last season, scored against Town down at St Mary's. Looks only a matter of time before he leaves, a little bit like Amari Hutchinson here. Davis with a free kick for Ipswich Town, and it comes to the Southampton area. Well, goes right across it to the far side. O'Shea heads it down well as far as Ogbeni. Back it goes to Johnson. Johnson left-footed ball at the Southampton area, headed away by Charles. All hands on deck for Saints, out as far as Davis. 1-1, 10 minutes to go. Back to Matasiwa. Matasiwa goes back towards Palmer, but he's caught late by Armstrong. I think initially when he played the ball back behind Palmer, one or two were worried it might be an embarrassing own goal, but it was never going to have the legs, and actually swung away from being in line with the posts, but definitely a foul on him. The referee just had a little word with
That's Armstrong again. He had no right to sort of even make it difficult for Matasui, but he did. He gave away a free kick in the end, but it was again good closing down.
Yet another free kick for Ipswich on halfway. Davis to take it. Just over 9 minutes to play. 1-1 crossfield ball live on BBC Radio Suffolk. O'Shea's glancing header goes out of play far side for a throw to Southampton at left back. Southampton have got Ryan Fraser down. He's probably therefore going to be the man that makes way for Dibbling. There's a long conversation going on off the Southampton bench involving Will Still and his staff, one of which is Adam Lallana, incidentally well known for his time in the Premier League, the likes of Brighton and Liverpool. Started his career at Southampton. Actually scored a couple of goals in that 5-2 victory the last time Southampton beat Ipswich at this level. Lallana. The moment break and play while Fraser gets some treatment. So just a reminder, get in touch. We're on air till 3 o'clock. Have a chat to Graham and Mick on 0800 141 2121 is the phone number. You can text 81333. Start those messages SFK. WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Again, put SFK at the start. Or get in touch with me ahead of tomorrow night's Blue Hour show between 6 and 7 on BBC Radio Suffolk. Email is a good way to get in touch. Brenner at bbc.co.uk. BRENNER at bbc.co.uk. So a couple of changes, I think, by the looks of things for Southampton. The number has gone up for Armstrong to come off, to be replaced by Dibbling. And then I think it's going to be Sugawara perhaps for Fraser. Here's the other change. And just having a look, it is Sugawara is replacing Fraser. Throw in on the far side. Southampton will still. That's a warm handshake to Adam Armstrong.
People wonder why you have so much extra time in games. I think I know why it is. It's these substitutions. I mean, it's just it's unbelievable. You know, you really do need a secretary.
Yeah. Well, every game, pretty much half of the outfield 10 gets replaced. Most managers use all 5 of their subs. They can use them in 3 windows, so they can't keep breaking up play with one sub, then another, up to the count of 5. But that's it for Southampton, I think. Archer is going to go through the middle, maybe with Matsuki joining him from midfield. Dibbling will be given a relatively free rein. That's the sort of player he is. In terms of his style, is coincidentally with him potentially going to Everton, he's quite Jack Grealish, the way that he plays. He's a naturally talented player. Thrown on the far side of the field, which Quaz is going to take for Southampton. We have 6.5 minutes to go. I think Cameron Humphreys might be coming on for Town. Kayuste's header goes more up than away. Smodix with a fluffed clearance. Kayuste clears it off the backside of a player, very messy. Sugawara just on the field, gives it to fellow sub Tyler Dibbling. He gives it back towards Stevens. Saints fans will be wondering if this is the last time they see the number 33 in a Southampton shirt. I would imagine that move will eventually go through to the Premier League. Manning back towards Kwasi, heading towards the final 5 minutes on BBC Radio Suffolk, as O'Shea sees the ball out of play for a throw in it right back. Well, late drama against Southampton has been as common as Ipswich Town disappointing in cup seasons in recent seasons, so I do wonder if the week's going to follow a completely similar pattern to years gone by. Ashley Young about to make his home debut for Ipswich Town. Hurst loses out to Stevens. Of course, no Al-Hamadi or Akpom to replace George Hurst, so chances are he's going to get the full game. Greaves up against Archer, out of play for a throw to Ipswich, no more than that. Young is prepared and set. Davis, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Houston yet to have the ball at his feet, unable to do anything with it. Matthew Siwa has the ball at his feet on halfway, goes down, brought down by Charles. Hasn't been much of a spectacle this second half at all.
No, it's really sort of it's definitely gone down in standard. Town's possession has definitely gone up. I mean, I think they're just about shading the possession now, 51-49, so it has changed.
Johnson replaced by Young, and Matthew Siwa, no big surprise, being replaced by Cameron Humphreys. He'll be back in the starting lineup at Preston on Saturday, no doubt, as will Matthew Siwa, with him tiring. Understandable that Kieran McKenna didn't want to run the risk of him just mistiming a challenge and getting a second yellow card, and obviously he's bringing on a very good substitute in his place. So it's Kayuste and Humphreys in midfield. Davis touches the ball into the air looking for Smodix, coming across as Harwood Bellis. Smodix nicks the ball back off him and then takes it out of play, much to his own frustration.
Well, he was so busy looking for a colleague to pass to that his eyes were on that situation rather than the ball, and he just sort of ran the ball over the touchline.
3.5 to go. Get the thoughts of Kieran McKenna on air before 3 o'clock, all being well. Also hopefully hear from an Ipswich Town player as well. If not, they'll be on the blue hour tomorrow night for certain. Sugawara, the Japanese, who started this season at right back against Wrexham last weekend. Davis to Humphreys. Dibbling trying to embarrass Davis. Out of play, the ball goes through to the Ipswich Town left back. 3 minutes to go. Davis has the ball above his head. Chaplin wants it. Goes towards Hurst instead. In goes Harwood Bellis. Greaves with a header at the back. Well, we'll all be eagerly waiting to see who how many added on minutes there are going to be. Chaplin, lovely, a crossfield ball to Ogbenny. One-on-one with Manning inside the area. Chio Ogbenny gives it back to Kayuste. Oh, blocked off. And as far it goes as Young. Young then wins it against Chaplin with a shot. He's pulled it wide of that left post. It's a goal kick to Bazunu. I thought the script had been written when it sat up nicely for Jens Kayuste.
Well, we had the left back taking the throw, Leif Davis. He didn't know where to throw it. It was so congested over this side that when he finally did get a bit of a throw-in going, when it went to Connor Chaplin, with his back to Ogbenny, he knew Ogbenny was the only one that's really sort of holding his ground over on the right-hand side. He just churned and hit a hopeful ball in that direction, and he found Ogbenny with it. So it was a great sort of bit of thinking by Connor Chaplin.
Throw in to Ipswich. Final couple of minutes of the 90. Surely we're not going to get another late goal that's decisive between these two teams. Lost by Davis. Downs gives it to Sugawara, who takes it out of play. Humphreys gets another chance. Now he's going to leave Davis again to take the throw. Davis with a throw up towards Hurst, who's got away from Harwood Bellis. Obviously can't be offside. Hurst in field looking for Smodix. Up by Stevens, not very far away. Downs challenges with Hurst, wins the header towards Dibbling. Dibbling's brought down by Humphreys. The referee's played a good advantage. Southampton have it through the middle. O'Shea's header's up in the air. Archer's trying to trouble Greaves. Greaves heads it onto the chest of Davis. Davis down the line straight to Sugawara. Still not a great deal of quality in this game. 89 minutes played. Dibbling has to go back towards Harwood Bellis. Harwood Bellis stands on the ball, puts it over the top for the run of Archer. He's got goal side of Greaves, wide right, just inside the area. He takes him out of the box. Archer with a pull back to Charles. Charles' first time cross into the air, headed away by Ashley Young. As far as Quasi hits it way off target. Well held, sir. Out for a goal kick to Alex Palmer.
Well, that was a difficult skill for anybody, and I would have been absolutely shocked if Quasi had got it right. You know, with a ball coming out, half volley. No, he screamed it probably about 15 yards wide.
We are about 15 seconds away from being told how much added on time there is going to be. Out the ball is now yet again for another Leif Davis throw. Fourth official is primed with his electronic board as Humphreys gets the ball back to Greaves. Greaves to Palmer. Dibbling goes after him. Little change of direction from Palmer. Worked out well. We're into added on time at the end of this match, of which there's going to be 5 minutes. Goodness me. Fingernails at the ready. How's your heart? Ipswich Town against Southampton. We know it tends to happen. Young to Ogbeni. Ogbeni gets another attempt at the cross. The initial one blocked off by Manning. Ogbeni still has it. To the right-hand side, Ashley Young. First time cross from him off the back of Manning. Out it goes on the far side of the field. We're almost expecting a winning goal at one end of the field. It's a normal course of events when these two sides meet. Or it has been from that Sarmiento moment of a couple of seasons ago. Kiyuste on the ball for Town. Gives it to Ashley Young. In a crossing position. In it comes. Headed away by Stevens. Towards Down's edge of the box. He nods it out. Greaves is on it for Ipswich. Still shown plenty ambition, the home team. Greaves wants to take on Dibbling, brought down by him. Poor from Dibbling. It's a free kick in a good position, this for Ipswich Town.
Yeah, that is poor by Dibbling. I know Dibbling's not a defender, but Jacob Greaves is not an outside left, so you don't think he's going to sort of beat you for pace down the outside, so there's absolutely no need to commit a foul, and he did that very nonchalantly. He's put his side in trouble by a bit of nonchalance.
Bearing in mind what's happened between these two sides in recent seasons, we're almost expecting a goal from this set piece. It's wide left, Leif Davis on this free kick, 90 seconds into added on time. It's 1-1, and it comes from the number 3. Good ball, headed across the face of goal, and headed over the bar in the end from Chaplin on the far post. That looked like being a good opportunity for Town to make it 2-1.
Yeah, I don't think he could quite get up high enough to get over the top of the ball to keep it underneath the crossbar, but he's taken up a wonderful position, he really has, and he's just
not tall enough, was he?
He's just lacked that ability to get up high enough. He really has, you know, but if it had been anybody else, you would have said, yep, Dara O'Shea, for instance, he would have got higher and he would have got it underneath the crossbar.
3 minutes to go. A few people perhaps unwisely leaving early. Had a play 40 through to Southampton, which Sugawara is going to be taken at the midway point of the added-on 5. All of the goals so far, anyway, come in the first half. An own goal set Town on their way. Robinson equalised just before half-time for Southampton. Both sides, as things stand, remaining unbeaten in the early stages of this championship season. Dibbling on the right-hand side for Southampton. We don't need him in the attacking third. Tries to find Sugawara, well read by Leif Davis. Smodix is back along his own byline. Clears it away for Ipswich Town. Kept in play by Harwood Bellis. Infield he gives it to Flynn Downs. Down square to Charles. Far side Manning wants it. Remember Southampton won late on last week. Something like the 96th minute. Their winning goal went in against Wrexham. Charles down the line looking for Manning. Manning's inside the area, twisting Ogbeni. Ogbeni's done well. Good work from the winger. Tries to get away from Manning, he can't. Charles gets it back for Southampton. Final 90 seconds. Downs goes square to Harwood Bellis. Up towards Sugawara. Wide on the right-hand side. He gives it back to Dibbling. Dibbling looks up, still has the ball, the number 33, clips it towards the area, flicked on by Downs, nodded down by Charles in the D outside the Ipswich box. Chaplin on the deck, heads it back to one of his colleagues. Town can't quite get out at the moment. Southampton at the moment, hopefully I'm tempting fate, looking the more likely to win this game, pressing forward. Manning on the left-hand side, plays it off of Ogbeni through to Southampton. Exactly 60 seconds to play in this championship match. Kwasi has gone across to take the throw-in for Saints. His previous long throw, or attempted long throw, was quite a loopy one. Let's see what he's got on this, the big German.
His last one wasn't very good, I didn't think.
No, it wasn't, was it? Easy to defend. Kwasi with this long throw in for Southampton, approaching the final 30 seconds of added on time at the end of this game. Into the Ipswich area it comes. Flick-on header attempted by Harwood Bellis. Tampler's gone down in the box. That'll do. Free kick to Ipswich. A little bit of respite as Ipswich Tampler's at Young and Arch and Charles it is. Almost go nose to nose. Referee wants a little word with them. Just elongating this game smidgen more. Yellow card for Charles. Nothing for Young.
It's a very late one.
Yeah.
For nothing.
The added on 5 minutes are up as the referee checks his watch. Palmer on this goal, or the free kick. Alex Palmer with a free kick for Ipswich Town right at the end of this match. Ball's in flight, play continues. We've gone beyond the added on 5. Headed by Ogbeni up towards Chaplin. A last chance for Town to win it. Kayuste, good ball to Davis. What can Ipswich Town do? Deep into added on time. Humphreys shapes to cross, still has it. Eventually knocks the ball into the Southampton area towards Chaplin. Chaplin with a header, trying to find Hurst. The goalkeeper has it. And that is probably going to be that. It is. It's 3 successive 1-1 draws for Ipswich Town at the start of this season. Got a point on the board at Birmingham opening day. Drew with Bromley in the cup. And then they've shared a couple of goals with their old mate Southampton here this Sunday afternoon. Even Stevens, Ipswich Town have a couple of points on the championship table after 2 matches.
Well, I think without question that was Town's half, and there's a couple of stats really that suggest it was. Before, at half-time, Southampton had enjoyed more possession, 55% of possession, than Town's 45, and the touches inside the opposition penalty area were far better for Southampton than Town. And when you look at the stats that the game actually finished with, those 2 stats have changed round. You know, all of a sudden Town have pretty much levelled the possession of the game, and the touches in the opposition box have now turned completely around and were in favour of Town. That just tells you, one, that they were in charge of the ball, and 2, territorially they were in charge of the game, because that means if you're getting a lot of touches in the opposition box, it means that the game is very much in the attacking part of your side. So, you know, Town have done better. I thought the general quality in the second half disappeared. I thought that Southampton had that quality in the first half. They either got tired, I'm not sure what happened, but they lost the ability to keep the ball. Town looked stronger. I think it's a better performance than away at Birmingham. It had more about it. What really does worry me, I think we're okay down the flanks. The centre halves are beginning to come together. That's the second time they've had a really small guy to play against, and they find that difficult. But today was slightly better than at Birmingham. Through the middle of the pitch, that's where, you know, everybody was delighted to see Kajust come on the pitch, because he's the type of player that will improve an area that we have woefully gone back in. We've got 2 very willing players in there, 3 if you put Sammy Smodics into the equation, but they do lack a bit of quality. Our 2 central midfield players can't get the ball off the centre halves. They don't like that, so you can't progress the game how you want to progress it. So, you know, we're now going into another match away at Preston. By the time that game comes around, I'd like to think that maybe we're going to, first of all on the training ground, improve the ability to go from the centre halves to the centre of midfield to the front players, you know, and if we can do that and match the ability that we look as if we've got in wide areas, then we might start to get the team performance that we need for the remainder of the season to have a real good go at getting back into the Premier League. So at the moment, Town's performances are a little bit bitty. It's more down to the individual rather than the combinations and ultimately the team performance. Hopefully we can get that right. We need to. Southampton, I think, are in the same category as Town. They had a disappointing year last year. They haven't got it right this year so far.
No, not yet. Well, Ipswich Town at least have taken something from both of their potentially tricky opening games of this championship season. Both of them finishing 1-1. Your thoughts are very welcome on Matchday on BBC Radio Suffolk. I'm going to go downstairs and hopefully speak to Kieran McKenna and also an Ipswich Town player about this afternoon's 1-1 draw with Southampton.